All right. All right. Let's go. Let's go. What's up, everyone in the chat? JP said you can't find the cord. You know me well, JP. If you're on the replay crew, give me 15 minutes, warm up, do some housekeeping, get myself on the screen. We'll get into the title topics. What's up, Jacob? What's up, Cam Jam? I said hi to JP. Saw Captain's Critters earlier. D1 Fish Guy. How's it going? Well, I'm a guy. I'm going to ask you to send the Angel of Death my way. He will never show up. That's hilarious. Yeah, we've been doing pen pals. It's like Discord, but it's like we're sending letters. The response time, space between itself. Okay, what's up? Armadillo, how's it going, Armadillo? I see you in here. I said Jacob. Okay. Let me get up on here. What tank are we looking at right now? Oh, we got Histatus and the Brachytopus. Man. I'm gonna move over. Oh my gosh. What's up? Long time no see. Just get all my stuff situated. You know how it be. Now, I noticed you're here, JP. JP said the research reads were too boring. Now, I'm surprised to see him up in here. I guess somehow he made it. You know what I mean? Shout out. What's up, Mick? How's it going? Yes, indeed. Although, I don't know. Now I'm looking at the Autosynclus tank. I like how that looks. Now I'm gonna spin it around. One second. I can't make up my mind. Okay. Well, before I change the camera again, which I'm going to, let me at least let's do the housekeeping. Let's get into things. So, got some stuff to read today. We got a mix of news. We got a mix of papers and whatnot to get through. Different than usual, I did put some stuff. I put the links in the description, so might be helpful to people on the replay if they want to check stuff out. They're too lazy to, Google it or something like that. Look, there you go. Don't say I ever did anything for the replay crew. Cam Jam said, Mick, what's a Candidate? That's the fish that was on the screen for a second there. Yeah, it was on the screen for 1 second. The dog it waits for me to stream before it starts barking. I'm going to switch to a longer cord. 1 second. Watch out, JP. JP, you might get the ban from Captain. Captain's like, yo, mutiny? Mutiny? What have you guys been up to since the last stream? Let me know. You've been watching anything? Anything interesting? Any thoughts from the last stream that you've thought about since then? We were like, hey, I had this thought since the last stream. Let's talk about follow up. Anything like that? For me, you gotta know, April 19th, the Aquarium Society of Central Maryland, we're having our first auction in Columbia. So if you're in the area, come through. I'm going to be putting quite a few things in the auction. I'm going to do my best to be a contributor to help make sure the auction is, a success. I'm going to put in as much as I can. I'm trying to make sure it's all things that, like, yeah, I have enough of this where no doubt it's going to be in. I'm going to have it ready. I'm not going to have a problem catching it, that kind of a thing. What's up, Baseball Rules? Hardest working fish streamers back. Oh, it's very nice of you. Thank you. What's up, 186? Thank God it's Friday. Yep. So a little housekeeping before we get into the topics at hand. And there's some good ones today. There's a paper about if plants can help a new tank establish itself, reduce the ammonia. Had some good buzzwords in there. Like I think it was like new Betta tank. I was like, fantastic. Let's get into it. Anything Betta related. Like, come on. We have to do it. But I just want to make sure that you guys know that I will actually promote my own club's events and not just all the other club's events. Okay, so real quickly, let me just Google Chrome, new tab. Yeah, auction.fish. Perfect. So, just real quick, so you know, April 19th, we got the Aquarius of Central Maryland, our first auction, and it's a few weeks out. A few people have already listed some good stuff. I'm not going to run through it, like, take forever. I'm just going to hit a few things just so, if you're in the area, Columbia, Maryland, come on. We got 5 adult Elisoma goberti, 2 lots of Eromeus fasciolatus, the banded barbs, 10 groups each, 2 lots of 10 groups, it looks like, Aaron bred, 2 pairs of a rare form of Guntheri, in Guntheri Zanzibar, TAN 14-02, bred by Aaron. I have some terrestrial isopods I haven't put in yet. We got Anubius, we got some Boos, we got some blue shrimp, we got 2 lots of peacock gudgeons, we got another killifish, the Branchius corythos, we got another killifish, the non-gold in Guntheri Zanzibar. I put my usual crystal shrimp. I'm going to put a bunch of the pink crayfish in there. I'm going to put a bunch of Hillstream loaches in there. We got 2 lots of CPDs. We got a lot of corridors, Napawensis, some terrestrial plants, some bromeliads, a fluval 4-7 canister. I got my orange springtails. We got some plants. Looks like Steve put in some Epistogramma hongsloi, another pack of celestial pearl danios. We got bluefin killifish in here, Pelvicochromis drachenfelsi. Got 2 females over there. Epiplates degeti monroviae, red lizard whiptails. Look like Steve coming through. 6 pygmy cories. Well, who put this in? Oh, that's from Grace. Grace put in 6 pygmy cories. We got green dragon plecos. I'm putting in some of my Procatopus similis. I'm putting in some of the ones of the bigger group I've shown on stream a few times. I'm going to put in a pair of Alba marginetta, the Betta Alba marginetta. I'm going to put in 10 red neos. My colony is recovered. Someone's putting in paradise, red paradise gourami, okay? But yeah, just a little, little teaser. We got some auction stuff coming up, just to let you know, okay? Just to let you know. Carbon monoxide fire alarm? I don't think I heard that. D1 says, since the last stream, been looking all over the island. I found a few fish keeping clubs down south, so hope their events are interesting. Okay, D1, nice. Jacob said, I've been listening to a lot of ASAP Rocky recently. Oh, okay. The older stuff or the most recent album? Mick said, since last stream, threw away all my aqua dragons and started having baby brine shrimp instead. If you know, you know. That's so funny. Johnny Best said, Ben Voice, can I get some free isopods? Sure, just send me your address, social security number, phone number, full name, and anything else that I could need strictly to send you isopods. Johnny Best said, what's up, professional poor person? Also, I just realized I did not actually show you everything. I was scrolling through the auction this whole time, and you guys didn't see any of that as I was describing it, so sucks to be me. But good for the audio listeners because, now we're all on even playing field. But I'm slowly scrolling through. We're off to a good start. 65 lots, about 2 weeks out. I can't complain about that. Okay, then another thing that's coming up real quick is that I'm going to be speaking about isopods at a club. The Diamond State Aquarium Society. Okay, the isopod agenda is going on tour. Okay, it's a tour of one club. This may be the only talk I ever do. You know what I mean? So feel free to come through with that. Jacob said the new ASAP album, a few songs, but mostly the songs with Ferg. Okay. Quality. What's up, JP? What are you up to? But yeah, doing my talk. You know, it is what it is. I talk. You're on here, you hear me talk. I'm gonna bring a talk with some slides. You know, some details, some charts. You know, you never know what could happen. Okay, it's my first talk, so it could really go whatever way possible. Okay. Next. Let's get into the stuff for today, because you know that's what we all came here for. How long did I say this would take me? 15 minutes. Yeah, look at that. We're almost exactly 15 minutes in. And now I'm about to get into the actual topics for the stream. So, appreciate you guys hanging in there. 1 second, my lights are turning off. I've been streaming so late recently. This is becoming a common occurrence on streams. All my lights turning off. Okay. And my tanks, will you be telling them about the quicksand incident? I probably will mention it. Yeah, I imagine I'll have to mention the quicksand. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what would be the most interesting version of this talk to do. I don't really know, man. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm sure it'll be good. I have some stuff. I'm gonna go out and take some new pictures just for the club meeting, and I think I'm gonna bring like an Isopod kit to put into the auction, like maybe like a 2.5 with some sand in it already and things like that. So yeah, you know, I'll bring some stuff. I'll make it worth it. I didn't, Scotty, if you see this, I forget, is there a speakers fee or not? Because I totally forgot to ask. Okay. Now, okay, you know, the price of gas, man. Yo. They tell me it's over $4 around some places. What the hell? I'm not built for this. I already don't like driving. Now you're gonna make it that much more painful. Holy. Okay, getting back into things here. High octane Isopod action. Yes, exactly. That's what we're gonna be doing. Okay, so let's start with the paper at hand. The first topic in the title. I'm pinning the link in the chat real quick. Yes, the effects of aquatic plants on water quality, microbial community, and fish behaviors in newly established Betta aquaria. This is from the College of Wildlife and Protected Area, Northeast Forestry University, Harbin, 150040, China. And it's dated the 13th of January, 2026. Mikim said, some friends have been out collecting super small black mosquito larvae. Best food ever. Okay, very good. Johnny Best said, good topic. Let's go. The stream's biggest financial backer. Johnny Best approves of the topic. Fantastic. Okay, so here, let's go into the abstract immediately. Let's get into it. I think I should be able to read this one, not too bad. But I figured it's a good topic because they're looking at something a lot of us have considered, which is, well, if I'm starting this new tank and I just fill it up with plants, will this kind of make it less pivotal for me to, you know, cycle it in advance? Can I get away with just tossing stuff into it sooner? Well, let's see what they came up with. And I want us to be... When we read these papers, I like when people are trying to poke holes in the methods and things like that. I think that's good that we practice critical thinking. So feel free as we go through the setup to make your thoughts known. All right. So maintaining water quality and fish well-being in newly established small unfiltered Betta splendens aquaria is a significant challenge. To improve Betta fish breeding and welfare, this study set up 4 groups. The Sagittaria sublata S.SU group, the Alternather, you know what plant it is because I can't say it. I never can say this stuff. But Reneki, Wolfia globosa, and then a plant-free control group. So just so we're on the same page. Sagittaria sublata, dwarf sag, you might know it as. I'm pulling it up on screen. It's a little kind of small grass-like plant, little broader leaves than like a dwarf hair grass. Okay, definitely grows really well. Then we have A. Reneki, which is kind of like, I guess it's like one of the easier reddish, high-tech-ish, maybe you can grow it low-tech too plants. Really nice. I have some of it in a low-tech plant under a Barina shop light that's starting to actually be the first time I'm keeping it alive, and it's growing a little bit and looking cool. Captain says, I'd argue you need plants that don't carry harmful bacteria / viruses / parasites, but generally plants are good. Okay, great. More things for me to worry about. Are you in live chat? I was not. God damn it. I love Captain so much. What would I do without her? Well, you saw how the last quiz went. Okay, then the next plant they did was Wolfia globosa, and this looks like that super horrendous duckweed that's super small. I never had this, and John gave me a little bit of it. I've mostly gotten rid of it. We gotta ban these scientific names. This is like a small little duckweed. It's just so tiny. It's absolutely scary. But they tested that, so that's interesting that a floating plant made it into the mix. And then they got the control. So we evaluated the effects of aquatic plants on water quality, fish behavior, and microbial community in newly established tanks over 25 days. So not the longest, but I mean, 25 days that's a decent amount of time. The results demonstrated that both the dissolved oxygen and potential of hydrogen (parentheses pH) decreased with the experimental duration, while ammonia, nitrogen increased over time in all groups. Compared to the control group, all aquatic plants significantly reduced ammonia nitrogen accumulation. The Sagittaria group exhibited the lowest mean NH3 concentration of only 0.4 mg to liter, which considerably lower than that of the other groups. Okay, let's get into this. JP said I have something like that. It's sand. Okay. Johnny wants Captain Critters to ban scientific names from the whole stream. It's crazy. The betta fish, known as the Thai betta, is an ornamental fish native to Southeast Asia and popular in the aquarium trade. Since 2019, it has gradually gained prominence in the market and has become a significant aquatic resource. Just since 2019, really? I guess maybe the COVID boom really did boost betta sales. AR Mini. Okay, AR Mini. That's what we're saying. What's up, Big Steve? It's become a commercially important species in the global ornamental fish trade and is now routinely maintained in both public aquaria and domestic collections. The unique appearance of betta fish has been extensively used across various art industries, which has not only enhanced their public profile, but also generated millions of US dollars in revenue for Thailand. Owing to their pronounced territoriality and aggression, and facilitated by the presence of an accessory breathing organ known as a labyrinth organ, betta fish are often housed individually in small containers or rectangular aquaria as shown. Figure 1, look at the bettas and cups. Boo, hiss. Boo, hiss. Figure 1, housing conditions of bettas in retail environments. Oh, yeah. The limited water volume in these small enclosures precludes the installation of aeration and filtration equipment, making it difficult to maintain an adequate water quality. Water quality deterioration is a critical risk in fish farming. An aquarium can be considered a static, semi-closed aquatic environment during the culture process. In such systems, the decomposition of fish feces, uneaten feed, and other organic matter generates both solid and dissolved pollutants. These pollutants lead to detrimental shifts in key water quality parameters, including dissolved oxygen, ammonia nitrogen, NH3 minus N, and a potential of hydrogen, pH. Captain says, to protect your critters, especially invertebrates, be aware that farm-grown plants may carry pesticides, fertilizers, and other harmful compounds. Always quarantine and detox new plants before adding them to your setup. Holy. Johnny Best. Oh, thank you, Johnny Best. W. Johnny, for sending in the $2 super sticker. Super sticker. Okay. I don't know if I've ever read it as super sticker before, but SS. No, wait a second. Anyways, thank you, Johnny Best, for the $2. Appreciate you, my friend W. Johnny. Deteriorated water quality is a prevalent environmental stressor for fish, eliciting a tripartite stress response. Okay, we gotta look up this word. What the hell is this? Tripartite, involving 3 parties. Wow, tripartite. It's a new word of the day, guys. Tripartite. That's gonna be on the quiz. Okay, tripartite. Tripartite stress response, a 3-party stress response. The primary response involves neuroendocrine activation characterized by the release of stress hormones, including cortisol and adrenaline. The secondary response is characterized by the dysregulation of energy metabolism, hematological parameters, biochemical processes, and immune function. The tertiary response ultimately compromises organismal performance, e.g. growth, reproduction, and disease resistance, and behavior, including abnormal swimming patterns. Whether after short-term or long-term exposure to poor conditions, the risk of opportunistic and pathogenic infections, including immunosuppression, will increase, which can result in high mortality. Even survivors may subsequently die from secondary diseases or osmotic dysfunction. For instance, a decline in dissolved oxygen often accompanies elevated carbon dioxide levels, resulting in respiratory acidosis and nephrocalcinosis, which significantly impairs growth. I'm going to look up this word. But one reason I thought this was interesting is that they measured dissolved oxygen, because there's been a few times where I kind of wondered, if even though I had I kind of wondered about the amount of oxygen with tanks I have to have a bunch of floating plants. I felt like there was one time my red root floaters were totally over one of my 40 breeders. I felt like I could notice a difference in health, even though I had air stones and all that kind of stuff in there. Because, at night, the plants are pulling oxygen from the water, so not only limiting the gas exchange with the surface area, but then, they're taking oxygen out of the water on top of that. Okay, this looks like nephrocalcinosis is the excessive deposition of calcium salts within the kidney. Let me look at the non-AI summary. Interesting. Too much calcium deposited in the kidneys. That's interesting, because a lot of this stuff with dropsy, it's like kidney failure and things like that. So I never thought about something like this being possible. Okay, well, let me read more before I speculate too much. Johnny said, I wonder why my pygmy baby Corys passed away. I don't know, man. It's so hard to figure these things out. Similarly, when NH3 minus N exceeds, okay, someone tell me how to read this, all right, is 0.4 mg with a little dot, then L minus 1. Okay, I'm going to Google it and see what Google says. Okay, milligrams per liter. What's the -1 for? I don't remember any math. Milligrams per liter. So when the ammonia nitrogen exceeds 0.14 milligrams per liter, it negatively affects fish performance and diminishes their disease resistance. No voice. Johnny, my voice is here. My voice is here. I promise. Even higher concentrations, it induces pathological alterations in the gill, kidney, and liver tissues of fish. In brief, poor water quality severely compromises survival rates, reduces metabolic and ventilation rates, and triggers behavioral alterations. JB Jeffries says, huh? So much confusion, huh? Okay, ammonia bad. What about the microbial community? Let's get there. Captain Critter says, metabolic alkalinosis equals kidney failure. And then said, Johnny, feel free to share in the Discord. We can help you troubleshoot. Thank you, Captain, for that. Okay. The microbial community is fundamental to ecosystem stability and fish well-being in aquaria. Microorganisms in the water column and sediments are critical for decomposing organic waste, maintaining chemical balance by processing nitrogen, and competing with potential pathogens on fish skin and mucus. The stability of the microbial community is particularly important in small aquaria. The community is highly sensitive to environmental changes. Once the ecosystem is disrupted and microbial homeostasis is lost, the abundance of potential pathogens increases, sharply elevating the risk of disease outbreaks. This stability is particularly challenged in newly established aquaria where a functional nitrification system is insufficient. In the absence of beneficial bacteria, fish waste rapidly accumulates, creating a stressful and detrimental environment. For example, dissolved oxygen, pH, and ammonia represents prevalent environmental detriments that significantly influence microbial community dynamics. Low dissolved oxygen levels not only reduce microbial diversity, but also result in black and odorous water. Low dissolved oxygen levels also inhibit nitrifying bacteria, reducing the nitrogen removal efficiency. Changes in pH inhibit nitrifying bacteria, leading to ammonia accumulation. A decline in nitrifying bacteria efficiency can promote the proliferation of specific bacterial taxa such as proteobacteria and potentially pathogenic species including Aeromonas, thereby disrupting ecological equilibrium and posing a direct threat to fish health. Furthermore, alterations in the microbial community may subsequently modulate the gut microbiota of cultured species, thereby influencing their immune competence and growth performance. Let's get to the test setup here. So, 12 betta fish of the same batch used in the experiment were purchased from the Harbin Dao Y aquarium market. Let's look this thing up. I want to see if we can get a picture. Bird and fish market. Okay. This looks like it could be the place. I see some pet birds there. Okay, wait. Chinese tropical fish market hits different. I don't know if that's there. The world's largest aquarium market. Okay. With body links. Okay. Subulata, Reneki, and Globosa were also purchased from the aquarium market. After purchasing, all plants were immediately soaked. There you go. There you go, Captain. See? They sterilized it. There you go. All plants were immediately soaked in 5 parts per million potassium permanganate for 15 minutes and rinsed with clean water before being placed in an aquarium. Each betta was individually housed in one glass aquarium, 12 by 12 by 15 centimeters. Which is, let's see, 12 centimeters to inches. Okay, almost 5 inches. Almost 6 inches, so 5 by 5 by 6, filled with 2 liters of well aerated water. No filtration or aeration devices were installed in any tank to minimize external disturbance and the impact on betta fish. 3 sides of the aquarium were covered with white paper, leaving only one side for observation. A white mesh cloth was placed over the top to prevent jumping. The rearing water was pre-aerated tap water maintained at about 21 plus 2 degrees Celsius. 1.2 M LED lamp was installed at the illumination source. The light source provided a spectral range of 400 to 700 nm. Okay, I don't care about the light that much. Photo period was set at 14 to 10 hours light and dark cycle. Fish were manually fed on a small amount of high protein betta specific diet twice a day. The ration was adjusted to the amount consumed within 2 minutes. After feeding, the feces and leftover food was immediately sucked up, and the dead or withered leaves of plants were trimmed. A small amount of well-aerated water was added daily to maintain a constant water level. Okay, so far, so good, I suppose. I'm kind of curious to see. 4 groups were set up, including A. Reneki, Subulata, the duckweed, and the control. 3 replicates per group in a 25-day trial. Okay, we got some replicates. The plant biomass added to each tank was 8 grams in 3 treatment groups. Each group was formulated as indicated in Figure 2. Water parameters, dissolved oxygen, and pH were measured on days 1 through 25, and ammonia was measured on days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 13, 16, 19, 22, and 25. Behavioral analysis was conducted on days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 12, and 15. Captain said, I feel like shouting sponge filter at the researchers. The plants are the filter. Microbial community analysis was performed using water samples collected at the end of the experiment. After water sampling was complete, all aquatic plants were removed from the tanks, rinsed, gently blotted dry, and weighed to obtain their fresh weight for the subsequent calculation of the growth rate in each group. Plant biomass was assessed using the fresh weight method. Okay. And here we see a picture of the setup. I love when we actually get a decent photo of the setup. That is very nice. Yes. So we see some cube tanks. One is just absolutely covered in duckweed. One's got... What? They just got the Reneki in the pot. They just put the pot of it in. They even taking out the rock wool. The rock wool might be kind of cheating. I'm not gonna lie. It's got to have some bacteria on it or something. Yeah, I mean maybe they prepared it freshly. I don't know, but if not, then that's a little bit of an oversight. The dwarf sage looks like it's in some kind of collar itself as well. Yeah, I don't know about that. But I guess if you did buy the plants, you would have these things, so it still applies to can I buy these plants and then just throw them in a tank and have them do something. But yeah. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. I'm going to scroll down to more of the results. Now that we know about the setup. Results. The trend of dissolved oxygen changes in all groups during the experiment period is shown in figure 3A. The control group initially showed the highest dissolved oxygen during days 1 to 13. So for the first 13 days, the tank with no plants had the most dissolved oxygen, which was gradually surpassed by the subulata group after day 14. The dwarf sage reached its highest value of 7.31 milligrams a liter on day 18. The dissolved oxygen in the A. Reneki group fluctuated around 5 milligrams a liter, while the duckweed group consistently maintained the lowest levels despite a slight increase over time. So let's look at this here. The dissolved oxygen levels. So the control group, it was in the lead by a little bit over the dwarf sage. And then, yeah, day 14, then it was below. Although the dwarf sage almost got exactly the same as it near the end. Excuse me. The duckweed is way down here at like 3.5 milligrams a liter. And then by the end date, it's at about 4.5 milligrams a liter, which is the same as the Reneki. And the control group is above that at about 5 something. Okay. The pH. Oh, the pH seems very interesting. Look at this. The duckweed, the pH, it starts at right below 6.9, and by day 25, it's all the way down to like 6.1. The Reneki it starts also like around 6.9, and near the end, it's pretty much still around 6.9. The control group, it starts at 7.2, jumps up to 7.4, and then ends around day 25 at about 7, which is the same as the dwarf sage. The dwarf sage and the control group had similar dissolved oxygen and pHs. It's kind of interesting. Then on the ammonia levels, the control group did have a lot more ammonia, looks like. By day 25, it's about 2.0 milligrams a liter. At day 25, the Reneki is at about a little bit over 1.0 milligrams a liter. And the duckweed is at about like 0.9 milligrams a liter. And then the dwarf sage is the lowest, where it's like maybe 0.1, 0.2. So dwarf sage looking pretty good for sucking up some ammonia. The trend of the pH changes in all the groups during the experimental period is shown. They're relatively stable in the control and dwarf Sag groups, ranging between 7.0 and 7.2. In contrast, the Reneki group stabilized at a slightly lower level after a minor initial decline. The duckweed group exhibited the most pronounced decrease in pH, consistently recording the lowest values, reaching a minimum value of 6.16 on day 25. And then, yes, said all the ammonia stuff I just read. Let's see, the dissolved oxygen. By comparing the water quality parameters of the groups over the 25-day period, it was found that dissolved oxygen and pH of the control group and dwarf Sag group were significantly higher overall than those of the Reneki and the duckweed group. The dissolved oxygen and pH value of the Alterna Reneki group were significantly higher than those of the duckweed group, and the ammonia content of the control group was significantly higher than all the other three groups. The ammonia of the Reneki group was significantly higher than the duckweed and dwarf Sag group. And yeah, the ammonia of the duckweed group was significantly higher than that of the dwarf Sag group, because the dwarf Sag was the lowest of all. Effects of the different aquatic plants on the betta fish behavior. This figure 4 depicts the behavioral profiles of betta fish in all the groups. Swimming duration varied considerably, with the dwarf Sag and duckweed groups showing relatively prolonged activity during days 3 to 6 and 15 to 21 respectively, whereas the AR group exhibited frequent reductions on days 1 to 4, 12, and 18 to 24. Notably, resting behavior was nearly exclusive to the AR group during the trial period based on video recordings. The surface breathing frequency was highest in the control group, particularly on days 9, 15 to 24. Yeah, when the 15 to 24, when the ammonia is peaking at its highest, they're burning the hell out of these things, dog. And the duckweed groups on days 2, 5, 6, 12, and 4, but minimal in dwarf Sag. On days 1 to 4 on the AR group mostly hovered. On days 5 to 9, hovering was common in the duckweed group. The control group showed the most hovering from days 12 to 24. After day 3, the dwarf Sag group showed a consistently low hovering time. Stereotypical swimming was most pronounced in the control group on days 2, 5, and 24. And in the dwarf Sag group, days 6 to 9 and 21 to 24. Okay. The linear mixed model analysis indicates that aquatic plants had a significant effect on betta fish behavior. Table 3 compares the behaviors of bettas in each group over a 25-day experimental period. The analysis shows no significant difference in swimming, hovering, or stereotypical swimming time of bettas among all groups. Bettas in the AR group exhibited resting behavior significantly more than the other three. Okay. Sergi said, bro, yapping about CO2. Guys, I ordered a CO2 splitter that Bomba, he recommended me a CO2 splitter that only has one-star review on Amazon. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to add CO2 to the Galaxy Auto tank that we're looking at right now. Then I'll have 2 tanks with CO2. I resisted the urge to get the splitter for 4. I was like, but guys, I love CO2. I'm not going to lie. So far, it's not even just about the plants. It's about the superiority. No, I'm joking. Nitrogen, using organisms use nitrogen. A couple fish said, hey, look, I know it's not breaking news, but it's interesting when someone does an experiment on something. Come on. Okay. Temporal changes in biomass. Okay, yeah, dwarf Sag grew the most. How did the duckweed have a negative growth rate? Bomba said, for real, if you have cow, you're better. Oh, CO2. Man, this guy can't type worth a damn. What's going on here? Okay, how about this? Microbial alpha diversity. Now that's what I'm talking about. Let's get the alphas up in here. Can you imagine having betta microbial diversity? Yo, imagine bacteria mogging. Yo, it's getting crazy right now. Okay, microbial alpha diversity. Alpha diversity metrics were used to assess microbial community characteristics. The Chow-1 and ACE indices estimated the total number of O2Us reflecting species richness. Okay, let's see what they found here. The duckweed group exhibited a significantly higher ACE index than the control group. The Chow-1 index in the duckweed group was significantly higher than that of the control and Reneki groups. Furthermore, the duckweed showed a significantly higher Shannon index. All these names mean so much to me compared to the other three groups. Okay, so the duckweed group had the richest microbial community, yet it also had some pretty... What was its levels with ammonia? I was about to say, I didn't think it was the best place to be living. It wasn't that bad. It was better than the Reneki, I guess. It was the second best. Bomba said driving, bruh. If I had a cow, I'd send my detritus for analyzing. Holy. Whew, whew, whew. Composition of aquatic microbial community. Okay, this is what I want to know, because I don't care about the diversity. I want to know if any of the bad stuff's in there. So analysis at the phylum level revealed distinct microbial community profiles among the different groups. The aquatic microbial communities in the Betta aquaria were primarily composed of Pseudomonadota, Bacteriodota, Microbiota, and Actinomycetota. For all the groups, Pseudomonadota and Bacteriodota were the dominant phyla. However, adding aquatic plants, particularly A. reneki and W. globosa, substantially reshaped the microbial community structure in the newly established Betta aquaria. For example, Microbiota was the third most dominant phylum in both the AR and dwarf sage groups, and Actinomycetota prevailed in the duckweed group, while Planctomycetota ranked third in the control group at a minimal relative abundance of 0.51%. Wow. Cam-chan said Bamba got boost in his fanny pack. I wish that sentence wasn't actually true, but you're right, he does. Relative abundance. So we see in the control group, yeah, we got the Pseudomonadota is the biggest in the control group. Is it the biggest in all of them? But then the Bacteriodota, it had the most of that in the dwarf sage, the second most in the control, and the least in AR. Okay. Let me see what did they make of this, because I don't fucking know. Figure 8 reveals distinct microbial compositions at the genus level across the four groups. Of course. The nitrogen-fixing bacteria Azospirillum maintained a high abundance in both the control and dwarf sage groups. Okay, so, I mean, those were the best groups with ammonia, so that makes sense. While Sedimentabacterium and Hyphomicrobium, which participate in the nitrification process, dominated in the control group, in terms of organic matter degradation function, various plant groups generally enrich bacteria genera with related capabilities, such as Flavobacterium in the dwarf sage group, Novosphagobium and Limnohabitans in the AR group, and Curvibacter, commonly found in all plant groups. Couple Fish said, plants can't tell the age of a tank, so regardless of newness, they remove in. You tell me plants say age is but a number? This shit's crazy. Astacare, you know what, enriched in the control group and Mycobacterium appearing in the duckweed group are potentially risky bacterial groups. Okay, control and the duckweed group had two potentially risky bacterial groups. In addition, Polynucleobacter, which is unique to the duckweed group, and Luteolibacter and the AR group are often regarded as indicator bacteria for good water quality. Okay. A redundancy analysis was employed to investigate the interactions between the microbial community structure and key environmental parameters. It revealed the first two axes, RDA1 and RDA2, explained 14.64% and 2.32% of all variances. All right, that means something. The microbial community structure in the control group was mostly influenced by environmental factors. The degree of influence of environmental factors on the microbial community of AR and the duckweed group was not significantly different, while influence on the dwarf sage group was the least. Okay, let's see what it says about dissolved oxygen. Water quality often declines due to poor management. While fish respiration and bacterial decomposition of residual feed and feces consume oxygen, leading to an increased dissolved oxygen. As a result, the control group showed a declining trend in dissolved oxygen during the construction of a new Betta fish tank. In our study, we observed significant differences in dissolved oxygen levels under various aquatic plant treatments. They may be directly or indirectly related to distinct morphological traits and growth stages of the plants. Aquatic plants release oxygen produced through photosynthesis via their parenchyma tissues in the root zone, subsequently increasing dissolved oxygen in the surrounding water through radial oxygen loss. All right. Aroneki has thicker red leaves that poorly absorb white light. Oh, let me plug my computer in. I forgot to do that. 1 second. 1 second. I got carried away. It was just the breaking news. The breaking news was just capturing my attention. I forgot. My computer needs to be plugged in. Alright, so they were just shitting on Reneki. Yes. Reneki has thicker red leaves that absorb light poorly, white light, and show growth stagnation throughout the trial. This indicates its limited contribution to photosynthetic oxygen production, consistent with the low DO levels observed in the AR group. The dense surface of the duckweed may hinder atmospheric exchange and shade the water column. This reduction in light availability likely suppresses photosynthetic oxygen production from both the plants themselves and phytoplankton, leading to lower DO. Adequate oxygen helps speed up nitrification and denitrification, promoting plant growth and creating a positive feedback loop. Alright, let's go to their conclusion. I feel like we've read enough of this. I get the idea. Conclusions. Stinky Pinky said, so floating plants are bad? Well, let's be honest. Hey, you guys tell me what you think of this experiment setup. I mean, again, it wasn't exactly breaking news, right? Plants consume ammonia and stuff like that. I feel like there wasn't a lot of direction in this. Like, maybe they could have more seriously picked the plants. Like, I don't know why they picked Reneki to begin with. You know, dwarf sage does kind of make sense. I guess duckweed too kind of makes sense, but like, I don't know. Like Captain said, like sponge filter. I don't know, anything to make this a bit more exciting. But I mean, sometimes you just gotta put basic concepts in an experiment and see what happens. I mean, the microbial aspect of it was interesting, but I'm not educated enough to really be excited about that at this point. So during the construction of a new Betta fish tank, dissolved oxygen and pH are negatively correlated with Captain said, I don't have many nice things to say about this, so I'll hold my tongue. No, please say them. I want us to tear these things apart if they're bad, you know? It's critical thinking. Yo, why Cap? I barely ever. Sometimes I'm so behind on my Discord messages when I do this, but Captain, it's be so funny. If you want to give me your, I'm jumping in a VC that you can jump into if you want, Captain, to give your thoughts on the paper as I read the conclusion. But during the construction of the new Betta fish tank, dissolved oxygen and pH are negatively correlated with time, but NH3 shows a positive correlation with time. Adding aquatic plants significantly decreases ammonia content in Betta fish tank water under the given experimental setup, with dwarf sage showing the most pronounced effects. To me, it's the fastest growing plant out of the three of them, besides duckweed. But the duckweed does some other negative things. They don't have any aeration or anything in there, so. With dwarf sage showing the most pronounced effects, the addition of aquatic plants showed a certain degree of influence on Betta fish behavior. Fish in the dwarf sage group were exhibited shorter resting periods and fewer breathing on the water surface events, probably because they were the least burning from ammonia. However, due to limited recording duration, these results may not fully represent the effect of the plants. Furthermore, aquatic plants also increase microbial diversity and reshape the aquarium's microbial community. The duckweed group showing the highest diversity in all groups. The dominant phyla were Pseudomonadota and Bacteriodota. The presence of aquatic plants generally promoted the enrichment of functional genera such as Curvibacter. Aquatic plants increase the abundance of Virico microbiota, which seems beneficial for maintaining water quality. Moreover, a systemic assessment of the optimal plant dosage was not performed, and the relatively small sample size may limit the generalizability of the results. Further studies are needed to validate these findings under more controlled or varied conditions. Yeah, I feel like there's not a lot. Okay, you can hop in later. That's good. There's not a lot of direction to this. I don't know exactly. Like, there was a decent amount of effort. I mean, doing anything with replicates of 3 over 25 days, takes a certain amount of effort. So, like, shout out to them for that. But I don't know. Like, could have experimented with the plant amounts a bit, a filter, or just aeration or not. That could have been nice. I don't know. Just anything. But Captain, you can jump on later and give your opinion on that. We'll move on to the next one, which is more of an article, although there is, I think, an associated paper with this. Camjin said, floating plants are okay unless they smell like tuna. Yo. There are floating plants that smell like tuna? What the hell? Excuse me. What kind of damn plants are you buying? Are they alive? I just feel like they shouldn't be smelling like tuna. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm really taken aback right now. Okay, let me get to this next one real quick. So this next one is about the threatened migratory patterns of some freshwater fish. I thought this was interesting because it's something I know almost nothing about, which, you could pick from a long list of things that fit that description. That's why it's so easy for me to find stuff to read on stream. Captain Kerr says, this is the equivalent of phoning it in, bad paper, scope too broad, plants not sterilized effectively, creating room for error. Yeah, I like, especially things as far as, like, they left the rock wool on and stuff like that. I don't know. It didn't seem... I don't really understand the point of it. Captain said, I've seen YouTubers run better plant experiments. Yo, we gotta run an experiment on the channel sometime. We gotta figure out something I can actually execute. That'd be fun. All right, this site has so many ads. I feel like I'm on YouTube, but let's get into it. Okay, so title. Vital freshwater fish migrations are collapsing, says United Nations report. This is by the Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species of Wild Animals, CMS, which is an environmental treaty of the United Nations. The global assessment of migratory freshwater fish being launched at the CMS 15th meeting of the Conference of Parties in Brazil finds that migratory freshwater fish, a group of species that maintain river health, underpins some of the world's largest island fisheries and sustains hundreds of millions of people, are among the most imperiled wildlife on the planet. The assessment identifies hundreds of migratory fish needing cross-border action, presenting authoritative evidence that species whose life cycle depends on connected rivers across national borders face accelerating declines driven by dam construction, habitat fragmentation, pollution, overfishing, climate-driven ecosystem changes, and your mom. The analysis identifies 325 migratory freshwater fish species as candidates for coordinated international conservation efforts, highlighting a largely overlooked biodiversity crisis unfolding across the world's shared basins. A regional breakdown of 325 migratory freshwater fish species deemed candidates for international protection under the convention's appendices. So they listed 205 species from Asia, 55 from South America, 42 from Africa, 50 from Europe, and 32 for North America. And it says the total adds to more than the 325 species because some species occur on multiple continents. According to the report, migratory freshwater populations worldwide have declined by roughly 81% since 1970. God damn. Whew. Yeah, that's probably not I mean, not good for them. Holy. And nearly 97% of the 58 CMS listed migratory fish species, including fresh and saltwater species, are threatened with extinction. The new assessment deepens that picture, identifying hundreds of migratory freshwater fish with an unfavorable conservation status, and underlines that protecting migratory fish requires managing rivers as connected systems rather than isolated national waterways. Okay. Brazil is proposing several conservation measures related to South America's two largest river systems, the Amazon and the La Plata Parana, which I think we've read about in some of these Brazil fish papers we've gone over. The Amazon basin remains one of the last great strongholds for migratory freshwater fish, but intensifying development pressures threaten that status. Jacob says they've been telling us this would happen for 20 years. I'm not surprised. Yeah. A case study released along with the new global assessment identifies 20 migratory fish species in the Amazon meeting criteria for potential CMS Appendix 2 listing. These large, long-distance migrants are flagships for the river's migratory fish, which account for roughly 93% of fisheries landings, underpinning regional fisheries valued at an estimated $436 million annually. They're also famed for undertaking some of the longest freshwater migrations ever recorded. Among them is the Dorado gilded catfish, Brachyplystoma rousseau, a bottom dweller known for its metallic gold/silver skin and impressive size, up to 2 meters or 6.5 feet, highly prized in commercial fisheries. Let me look up this fish real quick and see. I want to see if I'm impressed. You know what? I'm impressed. It's big and it is got some cool coloration. Look at that. It's got like a blue to gold ombre. That is pretty cool. Not gonna lie. All right, I'm impressed. Damn. Look like a silver little catfish shark thing. What the hell? That's pretty dope. Okay, you win. We're known for the longest life cycle freshwater migration of any fish. Its journey spans 11,000 kilometers from an Andean headwaters to coastal nurseries. To strengthen conservation, Brazil and other governments are proposing a multi-species action plan for Amazonian migratory catfish 2026 to 2036, developed through regional cooperation involving multiple countries. Jacob says the government wants to do conservation but doesn't want to pay for it. To strengthen conservation, Brazil and other governments are proposing a multi-species action plan for Amazonian migratory fish. I just read that. Brazil has also proposed adding the spotted surubim catfish, Pseudoplystoma coruscans, to the index, highlighting the need for coordinated action in the La Plata Basin, where they are threatened by dams, altered flows, and fishing pressure. Let's look up that fish. It's not as cool as the other one. The other one was like a shovel-nosed giant catfish beauty. This one's like just a catfish. It's spotted. It's got a similar body shape, but without that metallic sheen, it doesn't look like... I don't know. This ain't a luxury monster fish. Okay, I'm sorry. Nope. Nope. Together, the initiatives rank among the most ambitious international efforts yet to safeguard migratory freshwater fish species and reinforce the central purpose of CMS. Conservation solutions for migratory species must operate across the full range of the species and require international cooperation to succeed. Okay. So let's look at some of the data points from this. The hidden collapse of the world's giant freshwater migrations. 325 migratory freshwater fish species are identified as candidates for coordinated international conservation action under the CMS, beyond the 24 species already listed. 205 species identified in Asia alone, making it the global hotspot for migratory freshwater fish at risk. 81% estimated decline in migratory freshwater fish populations worldwide since 1970. 97% share of CMS-listed migratory fish already threatened with extinction. 15,000 freshwater fish species assessed through the IUCN Red List and global data sets used to produce this assessment, the most comprehensive evidence base ever assembled for migratory freshwater fish. 250 plus transboundary rivers and lakes worldwide, meaning conservation success depends on cooperation between countries rather than national action alone. 47% approximate share of the Earth's land surface lying within the shared river basins. 93% proportion of Amazon fisheries landings made up of migratory freshwater fish species. 20 Amazon basin species identified as meeting the criteria for CMS Appendix 2. 10,000 kilometers. Okay, we read that. And the migration of the gilded catfish. And one fundamental solution: managing rivers as connected ecological systems rather than isolated national waterways. I think that is one of the most difficult parts I feel about all these conservation things, like whether it's global warming or whatnot. It all involves like everyone around the world working together. So if you have like some kind of waterway that goes from one country through another and another, it's like, well, if one country does the right thing and then the other person, dams this up on their end or whatnot, like, I guess that it makes sense the United Nations are the ones talking about this. But do they actually have the ability to? And like, I saw that they had a plan, but like, is anyone gonna actually do this shit? It's kind of an awkward question. Like, this is kind of nice to read that someone cares about it, but like, are they gonna do it or what? Okay, I'm going on this other link real quick. They got some pictures. Okay, so we got some interview stuff from some of the researchers. This is from March 25th. So I'll put this new link. National representative. Okay. Using radio telemetry, Han and her colleagues implanted transmitters in nearly 100 catfish, some nearly 6.5 feet long, and tracked their movements via a network of receivers. The data provide the clearest evidence yet that the Purulaba Brachioplastoma filamentosum, which can reach 200 kilograms, more than 440 pounds, undertake extensive long-distance migrations. Let's see what this fish looks like. Okay, it's another catfish. I'm not gonna lie, it's another catfish. It's not looking as cool as that first one. As a researcher, it's emotional to discover this in such an iconic species. You imagine the largest catfish in South America moving across entire river systems. What Jacob said, this is the kind of stuff that keeps me up at night. The finding underscores a broader reality. Some of the most important wildlife migrations in South America and around the world have remained largely out of view. In the Amazon and other rivers in South America, giant catfish move underwater between nations along routes that connect Andean headwaters to floodplains and coastal nursery. Yep, we read that. Oh, look at this. This is a cool photo. Biologist Zeb Hogan holds a migratory freshwater eel in a river in the Solomon Islands. Damn, that thing looks big. They got the basilisk. Oh my gosh, they're feeding it. It's eating this damn fish on the rocks. What in the world? Jacob said the Mississippi is right here in every summer. Mats of Eurasian milfoil everywhere out competing native plants, and I never see anyone pulling them out. That's why I'm in college. I want to breed native fish and plants for conservation. I want to be the head of the aquaculture department in my hometown. Oh, that's a good goal, Jacob. Very cool. As Jacob said, no one's gonna care. I will. I love that. Let's go. Rivers don't recognize borders, and neither do the fish that depend on them, said Michelle Thiem, lead freshwater scientist for WWF. The crisis unfolding beneath our waterways is far more severe than most people realize. Under CMS, a species qualifies for listing if it regularly crosses national borders and would benefit from international cooperation. CMS Appendix 1 includes species at risk of extinction, while Appendix 2 focuses on those requiring coordinated management across their range. Only 23 migratory freshwater fish species are currently listed under CMS, 19 of them being sturgeon. By comparison, 1,109 migratory animal species are listed overall, with 962 of them being birds. The new report identifies 325 fish species that spend most of their time in freshwater and meet conservation criteria, being they're migratory, transboundary, and in decline. Oh, this is a cool picture. On the left is a Mekong Basin fish market. Migratory freshwater fish play important roles in aquatic ecosystems while supporting the regional livelihoods and food security for millions of people across the tropics and worldwide. And on the right, you see some more fish for sale at the Stong Tring market in Cambodia. It highlights the need to bring more countries, especially in Southeast Asia, into CMS if species are going to be protected, said Zach Best, a fish ecology graduate at the University of Nevada, Reno, in the U.S. and co-author of the report. Experts say the new assessment points to a fundamental mismatch between how rivers function and how they are managed. What stands out for me is that we're managing rivers in fragmented ways, said Twan Stofers, a fish ecologist at Wageningen University in the Netherlands. But there are signs of progress. Dam removals in parts of Europe and North America have helped restore migration routes, and at CMS COP 15 countries in the Amazon basin presented a multi-species action plan for migratory fish, one of the first coordinated efforts of its kind. Cam just said, all y'all who are in college, what happens when the AI robots take over? Hopefully you all can find a way to make money. Yeah, AI is still bad at plenty of things. It's still much, well, for instance, it's much cheaper to have someone do a physical task than to purchase like a $500,000 robot to do it. Or the development cost of that. JP says there will be prompting AI is not that easy. Yeah, I don't know. I think AI is there's some cool things about it, but there's also a big mirage involved. Okay. There's a big gap in international cooperation in the Mekong for migratory fish, said Hogan, who is a fish biologist at the University of Nevada and has studied Mekong fish species for decades. This is them helping to release a giant barb, which is a migratory species in the Mekong River. Interesting. All right. So that's kind of that, honestly. Back on the Aguaria, Han and her team are expanding their study to capture data from a larger stretch of the river to gain a better understanding of how these fish move. So far, only 2 South American migratory freshwater fishes, the Dorado or gilded catfish, which makes the longest known freshwater migration in the world, and the Pura mutaba, are listed under CMS, even though other large species move vast distances. Han has also tracked other South American fishes, including the Jowl catfish and the Pura patinga, Paractus brachiopomus, a large fruit-eating species known for seasonal movements. In one case, a fisher in Peru reported a tagged Pura patinga nearly 800 kilometers, almost 500 miles from where it was first released. We're starting to find the pieces of the puzzle, Han said, and we're only just beginning to understand what these fish are doing. Damn. Holy, look at that. They don't even know these fish are going that far. It's kind of an interesting concept. I mean, how would you know until someone cares enough to to look at it? All right, my Killifish breeders in the chat, this next one's for you. And it's going to kick my ass because it's all about, there's some genetic stuff going on, which I know nothing about. Big Steve said, if you think a 500K robot is expensive, you never paid for a divorce. Jacob said, ever heard of a prenup? Come on, dude. How many normal people do a damn prenup? A lot of people would be offended. Like, can you imagine being like just a normal person? Hey, let's get a prenup. I don't know. Some people take that the wrong way. I'd be down with it. I'd be fine with it, but you know what I mean? Jacob said, I'm just kidding. I don't know, man. She might take half the fish. All right, to get through this last one, I'm going to need some coffee. All right. Cam Jan said, if you marry for love, it's not an issue. I don't know about that. Love goes wrong all the time. Yo, I'm going to drink this coffee. So if you want to clink with me, I'm going to do a countdown. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Clink, let's go. Hardest working. Come on. All right. So this is an interesting one. This is from March 29th. I did pretty good at finding a bunch of things that was pretty recent. Jacob said, cheers. Thank you. Candace, I'm sarcastic. Don't take me seriously. I don't know. I might take you very seriously. Hold up. Jacob said I actually clicked my coffee with you. Let's go. We need it. We need it. So we got sexual selection and reproductive success in mesocosm populations of African killifish. How many of you got excited hearing that? Like, that just woke you up immediately. Like, oh my God. Mesocosm populations of African annual killifish and their sexual selection and reproductive success. I've been waiting for this all day. Well, if you're one of those people, we're about to get into it. Let's go. Woo! All right, introduction. And this is coming out of, I don't know where it's coming out of. I cannot even read. Fish biology. Online version of record before inclusion in an issue. Okay, cool. Jake said I don't have any Killies. I want some. You want some native Killies, man? I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna give it to you top dollar, 300,000. No, I'm joking. But I do got the bluefin, Lucania Goudet. I do have those. I have some leased Killies too, but I don't think I have a bunch of them. Camjam said, I met my husband when we were 19 in the hood, and now we got kids and turning 39. Love is real. Oh, that's very cute. Congratulations. I think love is real. I'm in love right now. I'm in love with the cocoa. I got it on the low. All right. Individual differences in reproductive success generate sexual selection, which typically acts more strongly on males and can produce pronounced differences between the sexes, such as sexual dimorphism and phenotypic traits or differences in behavioral repertoires. Behavioral repertoires, I like that. I almost bought SOE leased Killies last week, but I don't want any more live bears right now. Understandable. Definitely understandable. Let me make sure I hit transition. Yeah. Whew. Large body size improves male competitive ability and often leads to the formation of size-related hierarchy, where the dominant male secures the most matings. Although dominance greatly contributes to reproductive success in territorial species with limited breeding resources, male territoriality may not pay off when those resources are abundant or undefendable. Female choice is limited in social systems with high potential for males to monopolize breeding resources and with coercive mating. Yet females use counter strategies to reduce their reproductive costs and may reduce oviposition when mating with a non-preferred partner or on a suboptimal spawning substrate. The act of mating coercion is itself costly to females, and the cost further broadens through the interference with the female foraging. In continuous breeders, foraging time and ration are important correlates of fecundity. Oh, guys, I'm not gonna lie. Yo, this paper's already making me remember why I read these things, because already this is fucking interesting. Oh my God. Praise the Lord. Hold up. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. In continuous breeding, foraging time and ration are important correlates of fecundity, and females spend a substantial amount of time on feeding. Therefore, any interference with foraging directly decreases female reproductive success. African seasonal killifish from the genus Nothobranchius are extremely dimorphic, with colorful large males and drab smaller females. Nothobranchius furzi jub 1971 is a small 5 to 7 centimeter and females 3 to 5 centimeter fish species living only for several weeks to months in isolated ephemeral savanna pools in southeastern Africa. Camjum said, Jeff Pelham auction tomorrow got Killies. Very nice, very nice. They reproduce daily, with females laying dozens of eggs, suggesting strong selection on female fecundity. Male-biased body size dimorphism in the species indicates a possible role of male dominance on reproductive success. JP says, using my highlighter? Okay. I don't believe you. Despite the wide use of N-Furzy in studies spanning from life history evolution to evolutionary genomics, the role of sexual selection has little been studied, and it's assumed they may defend spawning territories, compete for access to females, and form dominance hierarchies. However, any empirical study on their mating system is missing. Therefore, the aims of the present study were to 1. Determine... You know what? it's nice when they actually have a goal, what the hell they want to accomplish with this. Fantastic. You gotta love it. 1, determine the role of body size in male dominance. 2, examine whether dominant males achieve higher reproductive success when the spawning substrate is a limiting and defendable breeding resource. And 3, test whether females adjust their oviposition in relation to male and substrate traits. 4, evaluate how the sexes differ in their behavior. And 5, compare male territoriality under dispersed and clustered spawning substrate configurations. Overall, this study aimed to clarify the causes and consequences of sexual dimorphism in Furzy and estimate the role of sexual selection in the temporarily and spatially constrained conditions of ephemeral savanna pools. JP Jeffries said Jeff Pelham might be the second hardest working fish stream. I mean, he do be streaming a lot, I'm not gonna lie. 96 adult 3-month-old Northobranchius non-inbred captive strain MZCS024 were housed in 12 outdoor fiberglass tubs, dimensions 1.2 by 1.2 meters, filled to a depth of 25 centimeters, with clear water in the garden of the Institute of Vertebrate Biology. Each tub contained 8 randomly selected fish in a 1-to-1 sex ratio. Body size range, males 42 to 64 millimeters and females 33 to 46 millimeters. Fish density 5.6 fish per meter, which is within the ecologically relevant density of 0.22 to 40 IND per meter. Fish were habituated to the mesocosms for 1 week before the experiment. So they put the, I like that too. They put the fish in there. They didn't start recording stuff for a week. That's kind of nice. 7 days before the habituation period, each fish was marked subcutaneously by colored elastomers, visible implant elastomer, into the dorsal part of the body to enable individual recognition during behavioral observations. Oh, this is high effort. This is high effort. Fish fed on natural biota, which fell and were established in tubs, and were further supplemented once a day between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. by frozen bloodworms, and the amount consumed within 3 minutes. The behavioral scoring was performed at least 1 hour after feeding to avoid the immediate effect of feeding activity on fish interactions. After the experiment was completed, the fish were euthanized and their body size measured. God damn it. They always cut. I never see it coming where they're about to say they slaughtered the fish. It always gets me every time. Like, okay. Spawning substrate and environmental variables. Okay. We tested the role of 2 substrate configurations on fish behavioral interactions. The spawning substrate was fine silicate sand, 0.4 to 4 millimeters, placed in 4 plastic containers that were 11 by 8 by 6 centimeters as a 3 centimeter deep layer. Half of the mesocosms had a clustered configuration of spawning substrate where all 4 plastic containers were placed in one corner. In the other 6 mesocosms, the configuration of the spawning substrate was dispersed, with 1 container placed in each corner of the tub. The bottom of each tub was divided into 4 equally sized quadrants to record the position of the fish within the tub during behavioral observations. Fish were exposed to the natural temperature and photoperiod during the Central European temperate summer between 24th of July and the 9th of August 2019. Water temperature was monitored in each tub using the HOVO pendant temperature, blah, 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 blah. That's the device they used, data logger. And the behavior scored during the daylight from 7 a.m. to 8:30 p.m., which corresponds to the period of activity in wild populations. We got scoring the behavior. 5 categories of behavior were scored. I love this. They included agonistic behavior, reproductive behavior, feeding behavior, swimming only, and 5 stationary position. These behaviors were partially adapted from the work of Haas on Northobranchius gunteri and adjusted to end Furzy in accordance with our long-term breeding experiences of this species. Captain said, was washing dishes so I couldn't type, but I was all for the study till they slaughtered all the fish. Not a fan of the Dan's fish scientific method. I mean, to be fair, like, it does seem like there's some things that, you know, you can't really tell unless you kill the fish. But, you know, God damn, sorry, that was loud. That was like a magnet going on thing. But yeah, you know, I don't know. That would be something I'd have to really be talked into. I don't like that. But for science, it's a meme for a reason, right? All behavior records were not video recorded. They were completed by a single observer. And observer consistency was validated by JZ during 7 simultaneous observation sessions. So that one observer they had every now and then observe with them to see if they were consistent. For each observation, one randomly chosen individual was observed for 1 minute, measured by a stopwatch. And only the behaviors observed for this individual were recorded, not for other fish in the tub, even if they are directly interacting with the observed individual. After 1 minute, all observed behaviors of a focal individual were recorded in the protocols as were outlined in the flowchart. The number of units for each behavior was recorded, except for swimming and stationary, which were recorded as present/absence data. Each record contained the time of the day of the observation. For analysis, we pooled data from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. as the first half of the day, the morning period, and 2 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. as the second half of the day, afternoon, to account for analysis for behavior periodicity. Behavioral data were linked to the water temperature data recorded by a data logger for analysis to control for the effect of temperature on fish behavior. In Figure 1, we have a flow chart of recorded behaviors in the mesocosm experiment with the turquoise killifish. By agonistic behavior, the interacting sex subcategories are represented on the left by the initiator of the conflict and the recipient on the right. In the initiator of agonistic behavior, dominant is meant as the initiator and subordinate is the recipient of the agonistic behavior. Agonistic behaviors include chasing, lateral display, opercular flaring, biting, mouth wrestling, and their combinations. Specific types of agonistic behavior were not recorded because they usually were performed as combinations. Some opercular display and lateral display were difficult to recognize by observing fish from above. What's up, Moneyless Maven? How's it going? So here we see the flow chart. So expressed behavior, yes. Okay, agonistic behavior. And then you can see female, it has female and female, male, 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 female, female, male. The initiator. We got reproductive behaviors. They have lateral display, chasing, nuzzle. Some of you may be familiar with that. Spawning. Info spawning substrate, outside spawning substrate, into spawning substrate, of spawning substrate. We have feeding behaviors, we have swimming only, and we have stationary. Okay. Typically males, I got ahead of myself. For the type of reproductive behavior, only the most advanced form, which occurred during the observation period, was recorded. This means that spawning typically involved chasing and nuzzle, but only the spawning was recorded. Oh my god, my phone's just like doing weird stuff. Typically, males were initiators of the epigamic behavior. Epigamic, a zoological adjective describing characters, colors, or behaviors that serve to attract or stimulate mates during breeding season. Okay. Epigamic behavior when they initially chased a female and displayed to her during the stops when they performed lateral displays. The second phase is nuzzle when the male is in the dorsal ventral, male above female position, and leads the female towards the spawning substrate. D1 Fish Guy says, been lurking, sorry not active, no problem. Captain Skirter says the desiccation data better be immaculate and informative. We'll have to see if they slaughtered the fish for a reason or not. They spawn as a pair when the male enfolds the female by the dorsal and anal fins, and both are performing jerking movements during which they release gametes. Swimming only was recorded when fish was only swimming without any interaction with other fish, and swimming was impossible to associate with other behavior. Stationary was recorded when the individual was motionless during an observation interval. All behaviors are within the repertoire of both sexes. Each record was paired with the time of the day and the water temperature in the tub. Kanjan said, I'm just a trailer park bitch trying to hang in there. A lot of science. Bro, you and me both. I can't even read this shit out loud. Holy. In total, fish were observed, not consecutive, 11 days for at least 12 minutes per day, resulting in 768 one-minute observation intervals during which 1,895 behaviors were recorded. The number of recorded behaviors for individual fish ranged from 7 to 49, 1 to 14 records for a single interval. Both treatments and sexes were observed with equal frequency. All right. Let's look at the results real quick. Results. I think we get the idea of the setup here. So results 3.1, male dominance, spawning frequency, and substrate preference for spawning. Male dominance was positively related only to body mass. The most dominant males nearly completely monopolized spawning when the substrate was clustered, so when all the spawning locations were in one spot. In contrast, when the substrates were dispersed, spawning rate only depended on body mass, but not on dominance. Dominant males spawn twice more frequently into the spawning substrate than subordinate males, irrespective of substrate configuration or male body mass. Male dominance-related traits and reproductive behavior in the mesocosm populations of the Northobranchius. There was a relationship between dominance and body size in males. Male dominance was positively related to body size. Male dominance was determined as a ratio of initiated to received agonistic interactions. The dotted line represents the 95% confidence interval for the binomial generalized linear mixed model. David said, I'm too stoned to hear this. I have to go read it. That way I actually understand it. Plus I'm stoned as previously mentioned. I've got fish to move as such. We'll be lurking though. No problem, man. The link's in the description. Whew. The probability of observing male spawning in relation to its dominance and spawning substrate configuration. The dominant males spawned proportionally more frequently when the substrate was clustered, which is in contrast to treatments with dispersed spawning, where all males had a similar probability of spawning. Nice, nice, nice. Females spawned more often with dominant males when they're spawning into the substrate than with subordinate males. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Dominant males formed territories near clustered substrates, as 59% of the recorded positions were located within the quadrant containing the substrate. This is twice as much of the males in the rest of the tub. In addition, subordinate males were found more frequently in the most distant quadrant, diagonal to the quadrant with a spawning substrate, than the dominant male. There was no preference for a specific quadrant for the dominant male in the dispersed substrate treatment. Male territoriality was not affected by female distribution in this clustered substrate treatment, as females moved freely among quadrants. Ooh. Captain Kuro said, guys, I think Maven might be stoned. Hope you have a good sesh. LOL. The direction of agonistic behavior. The majority of aggression was intrasexual. 73% of the time, males 73% and equals 584 out of 800, and females 16%. Intersexual aggression was rare, with more male aggression towards females, 10%, and no female aggression towards males, 1%. Male and male aggression was 20% more frequent in the afternoon than in the morning. Male-female aggression as well as female-female aggression were twice as prevalent in the morning as in the afternoon. Neither substrate configuration affected the direction of agonistic behavior. The most frequently observed reproduction behavior was chasing, 63% of the behaviors observed, followed by nuzzling, 23%, and spawning, 13%. Lateral display was observed rarely, 1%, and omitted from further analysis. Chasing was 19% more frequently observed in the morning than in the afternoon. Okay, that makes sense. In contrast, more downstream reproductive behaviors were more prevalent in the afternoon. Female spawning probability was not significantly related to any predictor. When females spawned into the spawning substrate, they completed 40% more spawning acts with dominant males, irrespective of the treatment. Contrasting reproductive roles of each sex were expressed as sex-specific behavioral profiles. Males were 2.5 times more frequently involved in agonistic behavior than females. Females were eating 3 times more frequently than males. And females were involved in reproductive behavior 10% more frequently than males. However, the number of per-minute reproductive behaviors was similar between the sexes. Substrate configuration had a weak effect on the sex-specific behavioral profile and affected only the frequency of the fish being stationary. The largest male in the tub was always dominant. Dominance hierarchy was maintained by frequent 1.6 per minute aggressive interactions with other males, which were initiated primarily by the large dominant males. This dominance was important for male reproductive success, as dominant males secured 80% matings when the spawning territory was defendable, and they spawned twice as frequently at the preferred sites. A similar rate of dominant male success was observed in the laboratory experiment of Haas in 1976 in Guntherei. Obtaining almost 80% of all matings is within the upper range of reproductive success of dominant males throughout the animal kingdom. Dominant males formed territory around spawning substrate, as they were observed in 55% of cases in the quadrant with substrate when it was defendable. Reproductive territoriality is a common strategy in species with large males. In these killifish, dominant male territory was motivated by substrate and not by female presence near the substrate, as females did not display a preference for the quadrant with the spawning substrate. Dispersed spawning substrate positions overwhelmed the dominant male's abilities to defend it, being non-territorial, similar to other territorial species in such situations. The strength of sexual selection therefore depends on how often spawning substrate is a limited resources in the wild. Natural pools of these fish vary in area as well as in distribution of highest quality substrate. Overall sexual selection in Orthobranchius clearly favors large males through their ability to monopolize spawning resources when they become scarce, a feasible scenario in spatially and temporarily constrained ephemeral pools. Holy. Infursy males spend more than half of their active time threatening or attacking conspecifics. Agonistic interactions were mostly ritualized, non-escalated attacks with rare direct contact between participants. Okay, well that's nice. Males competed over access to females using aggression to maintain dominance. Holy. Corresponding aggression peaked in the afternoon when reproductive activity was the highest. Critter said, so the fish are grumpy in the morning and big boys get the ladies. God damn it. I am not 5'8". The motivation for female-female aggression is less straightforward. We speculate that females may have competed over feeding opportunities, as female-female aggression occurred mostly in the morning when feeding was most intense. We do not suppose that females competed for spawning opportunities, as there's no association between female aggression and spawning frequency. A couple fish said, nice fish always finish last. Man. Yo, fish cells rise up. Yo, wait, I said that before. A couple of fish said fish cell, hashtag fin maxing. I didn't even see that. Great minds think alike. Let's go. Males were also aggressive towards females. Intersexual aggression is frequently associated with female unresponsiveness to male spawning attempts. This is most likely the case for Infurserae, as males were the most aggressive towards females in the morning when the frequency of spawning was the lowest. Good thing none of these. Good thing they don't got access to firearms in the morning. God damn it. Oh, tell as old as time. Male killifish have been observed attacking unresponsive females at aquaria, sometimes leading to female mortality. This is likely related to coercive mating, common in live-bearing relatives of killifish such as eastern mosquitofish and guppies. Fish are hangry too. Mick said, dang, I fell asleep over here. You finally fell asleep first. JP said, I wondered where you went. Mick, you've been needing to sleep. Hey, I tell people that the research read streams may as well be a sleep aid. You know what I mean? Listen, I understand what it is. We're here to read, whether you like it or not. Okay, female mate choice. Well, there's some choice involved. Perfect. Camjan said they need a Snickers. Females increased reproductive effort by 40% when 2 conditions were met simultaneously. 1, spawning with the dominant male, and 2, spawning on the substrate. The female choice of the dominant male does not appear to confer any direct genetic benefit for embryo survival, but overpositioning the appropriate substrate might have direct implications for embryo survival in the wild, as the embryo will be exposed to harsh conditions of hypoxia and desiccation. This concealed form of female mate choice is another factor contributing to the sexual size dimorphism in the species, as it further contributes to the reproductive success of large dominant males. During the observation, the killifish males intensively pursued and harassed females. In fish species with external fertilization, coercive mating is less common, but known in few taxa forming temporary spawning pairs such as salmonoids or blinids. A previous study with Infurzi reported that approximately half of matings were coerced. Now, females may employ counter-strategy to coercive matings, lowering the mating success of non-preferred males by decreasing the number of laid eggs when the mating has already begun. I need some female hunting gouramis. My male tries to breed with my mystery snail. What the okay. What the hell? Or purposely yo. You put a man in jail to try and mate with anything. Or purposely spawning on suboptimal substrate, which affects embryo survival. In the present study, females reduced the number of spawning acts when mating with a subordinate male or outside the spawning substrate. Okay. The cost of mating with a non-preferred male appears low, given that only a single egg is laid during each act, with up to 100 eggs produced daily. In addition, mating with non-preferred males increases the genetic diversity of offspring, which may be favorable in unpredictable environments of ephemeral pools, because different phenotypes may be favored during the next pool induation. Overall, reproduction in this fish is strongly shaped by male coercive mating, but also includes an active female approach to mating. It's kind of interesting, controlling the amount of eggs laid. Sex-specific evolutionary interests arising from contrasting selection pressures on each sex lead to behavioral differences. Here we show that the male time budget involves 3 times more agonistic interactions than for females, representing the most significant element of male locomotory behavior. Previously, higher male than female activity was reported for Nothobrachus in both wild and semi-natural conditions, although these extra energetic costs of the male may slightly reduce reproductive cost differences between males and females as suggested in other species. Females were feeding 3 times as frequently as males. The observed sex-specific feeding frequency is not a consequence of male territoriality or dominance. Females are strongly motivated to feed to cover their energetic expenses for reproduction, including the consequences of intense male harassment. Previously, experimental shielding from male harassment and spawning considerably increased female somatic growth. Therefore, despite being half the body mass of males, females can eat a similar amount of food as males. Some mixed-head snails need love too, Jesus. The 10% higher participation of females in reproductive behavior than for males may be due to observation bias. Okay. We're almost to the conclusion, people. Let's go. Get the pillows ready. Under the semi-natural conditions of our study, with fish performing socially realistic interactions, we show that male-on-male competition is a major component of sexual selection in Infurzi and leads to selection for male-biased dimorphism. The dimorphism is maintained by the higher competitive ability and reproductive success of larger males. Spatial substrate configuration was a key for the expression of the male dominance hierarchy and territoriality. The spawning microhabitat, together with male dominance, increased female reproductive output. The behavioral patterns observed in the killifish are consistent with those reported in other egg-laying cyprinodontiforms. However, a comprehensive description of natural behavior repertoire for this species has been lacking, despite its relevance for biogerontologists and toxicologists studying treatment-induced behavioral changes. This study provides a solid foundation for further examination of the behavioral ecology of Infurzi, a remarkable species with increasing importance in various biological disciplines. The end. My snails are breeding well. He wants my gold mystery snail real bad. Wow. So that's the 3 things I had to read. What are your thoughts, if any? I don't have too many thoughts. Mick, why are you Mick, are you wanting a gold mystery snail? I feel like Mick wants a gold mystery snail. That's crazy. Yo, the Galaxy autos are looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not going to lie. I picked up 2 more the other day. I mentioned that on the stream. I put some leaves in there. The nice thing about these guys is they really are not picky when it comes to eating. They eat anything. They did figure out how to eat white worms eventually. Their mouths are just not the best adapted to it. But man, oh man. They're growing well. Mick, are you ready to go to bed? Anything else go on? Oh, you know what? There is one video I was thinking I could look at on stream. You guys familiar with Patty's Aquatics? Anyone familiar? Patty's Aquatics. This man is, he's leaving dirted tanks behind, apparently. Ole. You guys see this?
Video in my series Beyond the Dirt, or if you're not familiar, it's basically
It's the series Beyond the Dirt. And now he's announcing he's going beyond the dirt. This is crazy.
opinion piece series where I'm just going to sit here, no script.
JP said his name is not Patty, though. My final truths about dirted tanks.
Nothing planned. I'm just going to talk off the chest, off the cuff, really.
You said all these fish dudes look the same. What's up, Captain? Yo, Captain's Critters in the live in the VC. Let's go. Did you see this video? You just can't do it. Come on,
about
man.
Certain subjects, and today I really want to talk about dirted tanks.
Is this the end?
My last.
The first study. Okay, let's go over real quick. Then we'll get the Patty. So the first paper we read was the Betta fish one with the plants. Abusate. Mm. Yeah. No, wait. They said lighting. They did. You weren't happy with the 2,000 to 4,000 lux. Not happy with it. I just thought it was interesting. They kept the plants like in the little baskets and rock wool. It was 14 and 10. 14 10. Man, what's with the... I love how the Bettas were all from the same batch. You can see in this photo too, they all seem to be some kind of white Betta fish. Okay, well, Killifish paper was okay. I mean, it's like one of those, like, we're going to do science to show what we already know, but like in a science way. Like, we want to confirm it. We just want to confirm what we already... And also, they did just kill the fish to measure the body size, by the way. There was never anything... Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I thought the thing about the amount, the limiting the amount of eggs, like, that's interesting. Like, you know, there's some like little interesting stuff in there. Like, if you're setting up a colony, a spawning colony for Notobranchius, it's like, maybe don't. You'll see a lot of people, they just have one jar. Like, maybe make sure you have jars in multiple different corners, so not just one male is doing all the mating. You know. Come on, man. We got the fish cells in here. Yeah. There's not enough, like, in these where it's like individual fish are determined. You're just like, we got a group of these fish. Well, they did set out their goals. So their goals were determine the role body size and male dominance, examine whether dominant males achieve higher reproductive specs, test whether females adjust their oviposition in relation to the male and substrate traits, and evaluate how sexes differ in their behavior, and compare male territoriality under dispersed and clustered spawning substrate configurations. I mean, I guess they did all their goals, you know. But their goals... Okay, more data. Yeah. Yeah. That's, yeah. Not these fish. They just want one thing, and it's fucking disgusting. They did 12 tubs. So let's see how many were each. You demand more. Okay. Yo, Cam Jab's already talking shit about the Patty video. She said, dirt is so lame, who cares? The thing is they used fatherfish reviews until now. Yeah, I mean, I have said before, like, Patty's one of the biggest defenders of, like, okay, now you do the I hate fatherfish thing, like, after riding his cock for, like, the last few months. Like, the information didn't change. It just now it's just hate fatherfish time. The fatherfish flakes. No, because he did it before then. But, like, he even says he, like, got dirted tanks for Dustin and stuff. He's talking about Wallstead. It's like, you knew enough about dirted tanks by the time fatherfish came around. Like, I have a hard time believing that the information changed to where suddenly you're like, oh, I've seen the light. Fatherfish is a crazy old man. Like, I don't know. It just feels a little convenient to me, personally. I don't know, but maybe he'll explain it though. Maybe this video he, like, you know, like, maybe we should give him a chance. Oh, bro, come on. People with beards. I could have enough
tank
beard.
I had set up was this one back here.
You're gonna use that to discredit
I did take
me?
it down. If you hadn't seen one of those past videos, I was kind of contemplating it back and forth. I was frustrated.
He's still got a nice
My
head of
plants
hair.
are starting to
Gotta
die
give
off.
him.
I feel like the soil really was depleted of the nutrients that it needed anymore after 6 years, and so
Wait a second. Can people not hear you right now? 1 second. Can people hear you? I think people should be able to hear you. What's up, Fishcapades? How's it going? Let me just make sure that you were heard. Wonder what Dustin thinks. He's the OG of Dirted. I don't know, man. Where's the OGs at of the dirted tanks? They've given their dirted tanks away. Okay, 1 second. I'm trying to.
I think I'm being heard because I don't see any comments. They're like, "Oh, hi, Captain."
I agree.
Maybe I'm just being.
Well, you definitely are heard now. So, look.
Hello, hello.
We
I
got
know
Captain.
that whole spiel of us Schmidt talking those papers was on record, but.
Well, the summary of it is you're not impressed by the Betta paper, especially.
Paper, we've seen so many of those like papers where it's like, dude needs to, fulfill a requirement. He's chosen this topic and he's got to finish the assignment.
Right.
You can tell when they're labors of love experiments, and you can tell when they're just like, I gotta finish like 5 papers by the end of the year. This is the one for March, April.
I feel like the Killifish one was a labor of love enough, The
Killifish one was really good. I don't think they needed to, kill their fish, but that's just that. I did learn though that if they're not happy with the setup, they'll lay their eggs as far away from that substrate as possible, which I'm like, okay, yeah, that sort of makes sense. If they were in a river, then like the current could move it towards a better spot, but they're literally they're in a tiny like container.
All right. Mick says the beard holds the IQ. See? He said that's where the IQ is.
Mm-hmm.
And
all brain cells went to the beard.
Cam Jen said, I don't care if people use dirt, just don't harass me with my snail jars. Okay. Hey, David, look, let's see. Come on.
So yeah, I went ahead and got rid of it. I got rid of the dirted tank, so I don't have dirted tanks any longer within my fish room. But I sort of want to talk a little bit.
Kind of crazy, like you're doing a dirted tank series, and now he got rid of all of them. You know what I mean? Like every single one. That seems like it was pretty disappointing long term.
Like maybe he had one giant, huge, I don't know, what's the gas that comes out? Phosphorus? Ammonia? Some giant soil fart and it just destroyed this whole substrate layer.
Maybe.
About really what I learned.
I think he said like the
over
plants
the last 6 years.
started doing poorly
talk
or something.
about maybe some of the myths about it, but also
these people only care about
the social
plants.
aspect of dirted tanks in the community and just some of the craziness, but also some of the camaraderie that's really there as well. And I guess not a person that loves to keep things forever and ever and ever. If you've watched my channel at all over the last 3 years I've been on YouTube, I like to change things up. I don't hide that. I admit it. I'm not a person that loves to keep things forever and ever and ever. I get bored. I want to change things. And at that time, I decided I wanted to try something different. I was watching videos on YouTube. I came across Dustin's fish tanks, and he was doing dirted tanks, and it intrigued me. I thought, let's try this. But I am a cheapskate. I do not like to buy stuff online that often, especially when it came to like his dirt he was selling or his.
Why are they always selling? Why do all the dirted people sell dirt? Like, I mean, I know the answer, but like, it's so funny.
What? Dustin sells dirt?
I don't know. He said that he was selling dirt to, like.
Bro literally just went outside, got a shovel, and put dirt in.
Like, why do all the, like, I don't know, like, fact check, like, I mean, Dustin's fish tanks is, I guess he's probably beyond that, but, like, he's saying that he was selling dirt. So.
He went outside, he got a shovel, and he put dirt in his tank and filled it with water.
How could it go
remember
wrong?
what I think he was selling bags of dirt or something. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do it all myself. That's more fun of it for me, to be able to try to DIY stuff and try to figure things out on
I
my
think he
own and
just
kind of
started
do that.
making money.
So that's when I
He's
started
like,
to do
you
some
know what?
digging
I don't
online
gotta
and try
do
to
dirt
figure out, well,
anymore.
what kind
I
of
can
dirt
buy
can I
off
put
the
in there. I
net.
mean, I don't want to put anything in there that's going to wind up killing my fish. That's when I came across some father fish videos.
So wait, he didn't want to spend any money on Dustin's dirt, but this is when he comes across father fish. Okay.
At that time, he was not big on YouTube. This videos I seen where it looked like he was back in Florida at his old shop. Went over some of the ingredients he uses for his soil. I wrote some of them down. I went to
You
my
want
local
guys to
hardware store. I picked a few of them out, not all
if
of them.
IQ
And I
equal
mixed my
beard,
soil
I'm
up and I put
Stevie
it in there.
Hawk.
If IQ is in the beard, I'm Stevie Hawk. Oh, okay. D1. Look at you. Practice what you preach and make money out of it. Church does it. Well, I always say, look, Father Fish used to be a pastor, and it shows in almost every way he operates.
I started with the gravel cap because I really wasn't sure. I used that tank for a little while. I really liked it. So then I kind of got fascinated and I started a few more like that. So I did a few with gravel caps and a few with sand caps. And eventually I wound up being completely
Man, the sponge filter in the corners.
obsessed. And
Yo.
I changed my entire fish
You can clean that stuff away.
over to dirty
What's
tanks.
up?
And then eventually
The
over to
air
all
is-
sand
you
caps.
gotta
The more
save
I
it.
started to listen to Father Fish and his videos. And
It looked like
I kind of pushed the limits on
What do you say?
It's got to go to a no filter tank.
No filter tank.
That's how you transition them. You just
No,
let
no,
the filter clog.
I think he didn't. He said he's always done water changes, so I think he said like there's too many stereotypes for this method. A couple fish had for years before Father
Water
Fish
change, like,
vids.
Got a clean filter.
People did soil tanks and did soil baking and stuff to dry/sterilize. Even for a few years, I heard Wallstead's name. It was popular budget planted tank substrate. What's more budget than just sand? Come on. Let's
You know,
just-
maybe he had like plant, like foul or guppy grass that just burrow deep, and then when you try to pull them out, they ruin your soil cap. Maybe that was going on.
I mean,
He's got some foul in the
I don't watch
background.
his channel that much, and I'm not really a very successful plant grower myself. But like, I'm just looking at the. I mean, I guess he just redid these tanks, so I'm like, I'm not seeing a lot of plants, really. Like, let me see if there's a video where he shows more plants. Sorry, more tanks, because like,
The sand and gravel.
I'm not really seeing.
Maybe it's hard for him because like you gotta be pretty zen to have a dirted tank and just leave it.
I'm trying to find a video. Okay, so there's some more plants in some of these tanks, like some val and stuff, but
Look at all that unused space.
none of it looks
That's-
like it's
there's some
like
space that's used.
grown in, really.
That's an unused space.
I think he just redid his fish room, so that's probably why. That's probably
Every
why.
single tank?
No, this one. Look, this one looks like it's got some val growing out, and this crypt guy has a lot of substrate.
Okay,
Holy.
that's one. Oh my god, he's a green member. Look at all this green
Hey,
product.
hey, I got some green. Come on, man, I got lots of green.
You've got a green shrine. He's a
Right.
green man.
Yeah.
It's a sad tank.
Let's see. I don't know why anyone thinks any of these people did anything new. All self-collected dirt and mud has always been a common substrate since people are keeping things. My husband's got a beard. He was a father fish cult follower. It's funny now they're switching up. Me watching this is kind of a value. I just don't really buy that, like, this person in particular. I just feel like you probably knew enough. I don't understand what if you're doing Dustin already. Like, father fish didn't come with any new information. You know what I mean? So, and you're also doing water changes. So it kind of already feels like you have enough critical thinking to realize that dick riding father fish is, you know, not going to get you anywhere better with the aquariums.
done a lot of it too. Like, I did an Oscar tank with a dirty tank and plants. I know that's one thing that a lot of people said would never work out, and it did. I put egg crate underneath the sand cap so it would never be able to dig down, and got that out.
I love how people said this. He said it's something people said could never work, and it did. And he's like, I had to put a physical barrier so they couldn't dig up. It's like, okay, you can find a way to make it work, but like, who wants to have a tank with a bunch of egg crate in it you know, for aesthetics.
One thing that a lot of people said would never work out, and
It's
it
just
did.
not like
I put egg
why
crate underneath the
though?
sand cap so it would never be able to dig down, and got that Oscar in there as a young fish to be able to be used to those plants, and it worked. I have my Haka puffer I had in a 75 gallon. I had that in a dirty tank. That was successful as far as that goes, but
just having the dirt in the tank doesn't, to me, it doesn't make me think like, oh, this tank's not going to work. Like the dirt to me is not really a problem
It's just
necessarily.
illogical.
No, I mean like the dirt
Like
is
having a dirty goldfish tank.
I
Like,
mean,
it's just, they're gonna dig.
to me, the dirty tanks is all the other stuff that usually comes with it that he says are like stereotypes, like the no water changes and all that kind of a thing. But he says he does water changes, so I'm like, yeah, I could see how these things could work if you're changing water and actually maintaining the tank. You know what I mean? Then yeah, I feel like you can make anything work.
I also did the no filter thing for a while. Now that's not a father fish thing, and I think that's a big misconception that people will tell me in the comments that he uses filters. I never said that he didn't.
What's up, Jose?
I actually got that from LRB Aquatics. Again, that was another area of me just trying to push boundaries and trying to enjoy my hobby and figure things out. And I ran an entire fish room with no filters, no air, and all dirty tanks. And on the outside, seemingly everything.
Okay, hold up.
Ran an entire fish room with.
What I could tell people are about
like,
to. What I could tell he's about to say something in the next sentence. It's like I want to make sure I get the first sentence, like before the next part drops. So
No filters, no air.
So he ran a whole fish room with no filters,
tanks.
no air, and all dirty tanks.
And on the outside, seemingly everything.
But
And he said on the outside,
great.
seemingly everything looked great. Okay, let's see. Jose said, he's saying he's done with dirty tanks entirely, actually. He actually basically disses Father Fish and says only Wallstead has the right method in this video.
Things are doing
but
great.
like Wilfred
Now,
doesn't do water changes.
I don't know.
What's he doing?
She's adjusted some stuff with her method. Like she's included a filter too now.
Wow, the
I don't-
changing of the time.
I don't think her method is really worth doing either, but you know, because she put a lot of effort into detailing her method, people are like, "Oh, this is the legit one." But like, ultimately, I still think it's not the best. To me, a best way to actually be able to keep a decent amount of fish in a tank.
and on the outside, seemingly everything looked great.
It's a
Things are doing
method.
great. Now, I had struggles with my tanks along, and I never disclosed that. I've always had algae issues.
This is so weird to me though. Like, he said on the outside everything looked great, things were doing great. I had struggles and I never disclosed that. Like, wait a
So I
second,
had
what?
struggles with my tanks along, and I never disclosed that. I've always had algae issues.
Oh wait, he has a text
I
correction.
had struggles
One
with my
second.
tanks along, and I never disclosed that.
I never hide that is what I meant to say. Okay. I never hid that. So he's saying he never hid that he had struggles along the way. Okay. He just said
That's like a completely
he said the exact
opposite of
opposite.
what you just said.
You probably should have a better that this text edition almost did not catch that
I've always had algae issues.
because I've
I think you
captioned
should
I
some.
just
have cloudy water bacteria blooms
take
pop up
it.
once in a while.
Do another
Yeah.
take.
Especially in the beginning. Some of that
This is
hair
not
algae
live.
is just thick. But what I found over time is a lot of the tanks I had started having issues with plant growth. And some of them are because of the cap that I had on there. I used a beach sand, which was very fine. And some
Jose said, I honestly cringe when I hear that name or that voice pushing crap and misinformation for personal gain. I think you're referencing Father Fish.
people may disagree, but I have a feeling that it really compacted a lot of my roots, especially some of
Very
like my
bulky
puffer
Father
tank
Fish.
and my Oscar tank, because I had a thicker cap. And I think those roots never made it.
Bro, yeah, you got a lot of fucking substrate. Look at this shit. God damn. Yo, what in the world? That shit thick. Holy.
Down to the soil layers. Some of my other tanks, I had a lot better plant growth with that same
How
cap.
long do you think it's
but
gonna
it
take
wasn't
before
as
that
thick of a
starts
cap, so
slipping?
obviously the roots would make
Starts
it.
Before-
evening out. So
Before what?
where it starts leveling.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it will eventually. I always had that issue where I try and do something that levels out.
That to the soil layer and go. My initial tank here, like I said, I started at gravel, switched it over to sand eventually, and that was growing great. It did great. It was about, we're at 6 years. It's about year 5.5. That's when I started to notice a little bit of.
Wait, what
depletion,
tank's that?
like my
Year
growth.
5.5?
It's about that was growing great. Like I said, I
his
started at
wall
gravel,
steady
switched it over to
pretty well.
sand eventually, and that was
Maybe
growing
Father
great. It
Fish
did
comes?
so obviously the
his
roots
dirt
would make that
tank.
to the soil layer and go. My initial tank here, like I said, I started at gravel, switched it over to sand
No, tanks
eventually,
need
and
maintenance.
that was
They
growing
don't
great. It did great.
go forever.
It was about, we're at 6 years. It's about year 5.5. That's when I
5 years is
started
pretty
to
good.
notice a little bit of depletion. Like my dorsage there, I had it was full of dorsage and some crypts. I could see my dorsage was starting to die back a little bit, and then my crypts were starting to not look as full as they used to be. It was at that time I was really like, do
So
I
he's
want to
running out
continue
of
doing
nutrients.
Hey,
Things are
man.
being depleted.
Put a root tab in. Kanjan said he just
Yeah.
followed a trend, a dirty trend.
this? And like I said, if you follow
I mean, it was
But,
definitely
okay,
was a trend for sure.
like I think he's following this trend, right? He got really into it, but he didn't like learn about the nuances and the nutritional like.
No, I think that's what he's gonna get into and say what he's learned. Like, hold up, let's give him a chance. Let's give him a chance.
Okay.
my channel at all, about a year ago, I decided to cut back and I switched over a lot of my tanks away from dirty tanks. I only kept about, I think it was like 3 of them at that time. And I got out all the rest. I went back to the basics, basically. I went back to gravel and sand and kind of tested with filters
Wow,
as
he
well.
was mad.
And kind of tested to see
He said, "Yo, you know how much work it is to just switch the substrate for all your tanks? Like,
It's so hard.
if I was stuck with dirt tanks, I don't know what I might just have to live with
what was
it."
the best option for me and my fish room and what I was looking for. And for me, I found I really like gravel a lot better. Like I said, back to the basics. I'm growing plants so much better in my gravel. Now, do they grow as good as in dirt? No, I don't think you're going to find an equal when it comes to plant growth as you do with dirt.
I feel like sand does pretty great for a lot of plants. I don't understand why. Like, I would just do some sand if I wanted to grow plants and keep it simple. Every plant that I have seems to grow and spread and carpet just fine in sand. Gravel is a pain in the ass to plant stuff in. Like, this tank back here, this big ass gravel. Like my head hurts just thinking about putting plants in that shit. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, it holds the loam. Good IO filter.
You can have both. Come on.
Yeah, no, you can have both. But I think
But
he's missing his lava rock, gravel, and then sand cap.
oh my god, now we got the sand cap. Bomba's gonna be mad.
But
I mean,
it
you're
also
just going
has its
straight for the
downfalls.
sand
Like,
cap. You're like, I don't
you
need
miss
any of
like
that stuff. I just want sand.
I love
And then
sand.
I'm surprised when my stuff self-levels. Why is the sand becoming one flat plane? You have nothing to stick to it.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, I put rock piles on top of my sand, so I have my sand areas I plant stuff in, and then I have my rock piles that are for the height that
I
I
don't know
pour.
why my rock piles keep disappearing into my sand.
No.
there are people that'll say that these dirty tanks are self-sufficient, that you don't ever have to touch them. Like it's just not true.
Wow. Wait, let me run that back.
What? Of course you have to touch them.
Let me run that
That these
back.
dirty tanks are self-sufficient, that you don't ever have to touch them. Like it's just not true.
Damn. The tanks aren't self-sufficient. I'm gonna have to
Who would have
process
thought?
this.
An
They're not
enclosed
self-sufficient.
ecosystem.
You have to do some type of maintenance with them. And like someone told me once, it's like if you don't do anything with your tanks, like what's the point of having them? I mean, I agree with that. I said I want to stick my
Facts.
hands in my tanks. I want to play around. That's part of the hobby and part of the fun is to create this
Well,
system.
he said he's always done water changes, so I guess he already knew that.
At least that's for me. Maybe someone enjoys not doing anything with their tanks, and if that's the case, that's completely fine. But also another thing is like the soil, in my opinion, and from my experience of seeing them, will deplete eventually. I found that out with this one. This was 6 years, like I said, before it depleted. Some of the other
6
ones,
years is
it
pretty
didn't last
good.
as long. And my first
So
Beyond the
you
Dirt
so
video
see
that I put out
dirt
about
dirt
this, there
tanks 6 years, not bad.
were so many people that commented on it, and I still get views and comments on this video. And there's a lot of people that agreed with me and said the exact same thing about how they tried this dirty tank this way, and it just did not work out, and we're seeing the same things I was seeing. So
I think Fish Tree has a video about how to refresh a dirted tank.
Yeah.
It's like you get a container, you put a lid on it, you bring it all the way down to the substrate, and you literally just put more dirt in there.
Cam Jan said, "Why such thick substrate? Isn't it a waste of space? I'm only 3 years in. I'm an idiot." I don't know. They all talk about some anoxic blah blah. I haven't really gotten too much into that stuff to know how deep a substrate you need, but
Well, okay, well, it's the Walstead method is like you're not supposed you don't need to have as much water changes because you got the whole system going and like your anoxic bacteria is breaking down the phosphorus that can't be broken down by your aerobic bacteria.
right.
So like
So him doing water changes with a deep substrate kind of defeats the purpose of the deep substrate.
It's like, exactly. It's like you don't, if you have a high plant load, you got your dirted tank, you got good lights, all you need to be doing is taking out plants and topping off. That's like the whole, that was the beauty of the Wallstead method, of the father fish method. It's like, you just have to take out plants and top off. And keep feeding.
Mm.
And it's like the food that you're feeding should be high enough quality that it's fertilizing all your plants. So your dirt doesn't deplete so fast. I think history went like 11 years without maintaining one of his dirt tanks, and it was fine. But you know, everybody's different.
That I just don't agree with. Like, this is probably the last time I'm ever going to bring up father fish.
All right, guys. Well, he said this is the last time he's going to bring up father fish. Okay, let's keep that up.
Money that he's going to mention it again.
Well, he's got to find a different person. Yo, we got to get him on Aquarium Authority, bro. Come on. That's the next up. Look, as long as Skeptical stop trying to dox me, I would love him to be the next father fish, person, because I find it to be entertaining.
Camera.
Yeah, he's got better footage than father fish. He's got a better AI script. Like, well, that's the crazy thing. Is like, yeah, I think that his information is horrendous, but like for entertainment value, good villain. You know what I mean? Good villain. I feel like there needs to be a new one. I think father fish, like, no disrespect, but like his health has been pretty terrible, so I don't think he's up to the task. We need some young blood coming through and saying they're the Jesus of fish keeping. Jose said, if you did not see the Corey Aquarium Co-op interview with him, you should. A lot of back and forth videos after that, father fish. Back and forth videos between who?
Because
I think I did remember seeing something about him doing something with Corey where Corey was pushing back on dirted tank stuff.
And that, I'm like, I don't, like, a lot of people will think I despise him
Corey
or I don't like him like that. I don't know the man. I don't have a feeling.
Wait, a lot of people thinks he despises
towards him personally.
Stinky Pinky said Aquarium Authority sounds like an elf. I mean, I'm not in a position to really talk about what another person sounds like. I'm gonna be honest. Have you heard me laugh? It's pretty egregious. When I was at that clash, people like walked up to me like, I knew you were here because I heard you laughing from 300 miles away. I'm like, God damn, this is embarrassing.
I'm just, as a hobbyist, and seeing some of the things, like, I don't watch his channel anymore, but some of the things he talked when I was watching those
I don't watch his channel anymore. Oh, come on.
Are very back and forth. Like, it tells you to do one thing one day, and then the next time you see it, it's a different thing. But if you go watch an old video, it's completely different. It's very confusing for someone, especially possibly a new hobbyist or someone trying to get into the hobby.
So why does he think this about father fish now? That's my thing. It's like, I feel like this was apparent about father fish the entire time. So like now you realized that his stuff is conflicting. Look at this. Just a year ago, what is the food web? One-on-one with father fish. Stop using fertilizers. One-on-one with father fish. Wait, wait a second. How many video clips you got with father fish? What is the father fish method? One-on-one with father fish. Like, bro, come on. Like, I don't know, man. It just kind of seems so disingenuous. Like, you watched enough of his videos. What changed to where you finally were able to come to the conclusion that, like, oh yeah, father fish gives terrible information? Jose said, your laugh is definitely distinctive. See, that's what I'm saying. I can't critique. Father Fish's handlers probably removed Patty from their affiliate program. Patty changed his tune and practiced after Corey pushed back, Jose said. Okay. Well, I don't know, man. What's up, Mexicali in the chat? Swim Deanna Jones, how's it going?
And it could definitely make someone fail, and I wasn't happy. I don't like that, as a hobbyist view.
You don't like that? 1 second. Let me double check how much.
Okay, yeah, no, I just talked up in the book.
What'd you say?
Wallstead method, you are not supposed to do frequent water changes.
Yeah, let me
not
check.
Supposed to be a part of the thing.
He didn't like that, but my journey with father fish 2 years ago. Can you collect a father fish resurrection chart in the dead of winter? He was this dedicated to The cock bouncing to father fish.
Jars of mud for
He's
this
doing
one.
resurrection jars in the snow. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Now he's saying, he gives terrible information, but you're promoting resurrection jars. Yo, how do you just wake up one day and you're like, it really took Corey to pushing back on you? I mean, I guess if that's the case, I don't want to hate on someone. Oh, look, aquatic isopod. Look at that.
Continue that
didn't come out of
process.
winter.
I find it
That's not the
very
winter jar, is it?
interesting to be able to.
He said it's the winter. Yeah.
The fact that
Oh, look, he's got aquatic isopods. Look at that.
Fish is, so I don't got to tell you to go subscribe to his channel, but
formerly classified as a Celis.
the Discord, this is
What is?
Those are at butt spikes.
Man,
And it's near the top of the water.
can you imagine taking one of these jars and being like, I'm going to put this in my aquarium? What the fuck are people thinking? God damn. Yo, the size of
What is
planaria
that?
in nature are it's so massive. Like when I collected some isopod, bro, I was terrified. I did everything I could. I picked up each isopod individually with forceps. I did not want any planaria in my damn system that were that big. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of crazy. Like he was really rocking with father fish. He's out here doing resurrection jars in the winter. Like he's doing one-on-ones, multiple one-on-one videos with father fish. I guess this is probably a clip from like a live stream or something. Well, he even did timestamps. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, this is crazy. Listen to this description of this video. I had the great honor to sit down with father fish during a live stream, and we talked about a lot of important topics. This will be the third in a series of 4 videos taking topics from that stream and use them in videos to help spread the word of natural aquariums and get a better understanding of not only father fish's methods, but father fish himself. Wow. So from that to this.
more personally. I despise him or I don't like him like that. I don't know the man. I don't have a feeling towards him personally. I'm just, as a hobbyist, and seeing some of the things, like I don't watch his channel anymore, but some of the things he talked when I was watching those are very back and forth. Like it tells you to do one thing one day and then the next time you see it's a different thing. But if you go watch an old video, it's completely different. It's very confusing for someone, especially possibly a new hobbyist or someone trying to get into the hobby, and it could definitely make
This
someone
is
fail.
nasty
And
work, man.
I wasn't happy. I don't like that, you know, as a hobbyist view of it. Now, people are going to disagree with me. People have disagreed with me, and that's completely fine. That's your opinion.
He said, wait, JP said he doesn't know him. Listen, okay, again, this is the description from one of his 4 videos from a live stream, some clips from a live stream. I had the great honor to sit down with father fish. We did this to get a better understanding not only of his methods, but father fish himself. Fast forward a year later, or a year later. This is November 2024, so not quite 2 years. Fast forward a year later.
Different. It's I'm just, as a hobbyist, I'm like that. I don't just, I'm beyond that. I'm like, I don't, like, a lot of people will think I despise him or I don't like him like that. I don't know the man.
I don't know the man. Oh, yo, Judas. I don't know him. Oh my gosh. This is crazy, actually. This is actually kind of wild.
And like, if this was posted, 2 days ago, then we could be at like April Fool's
Welcome
joke.
to Patty's Aquatic.
But he was not.
Yeah. Yeah. He said he's trying to spread the word of natural aquariums. Wait! We got the stop changing your water thumbnail. One-on-one with father fish. Yo, this is like the dynamic duo with the thumbnail. Like they look like they're boys. They look like they're boys.
I'm like, I don't, like, a lot of people will think I despise him or I don't like him like that. I don't know the man.
God damn! Yo, hey, I don't care if you don't know me that personally. If we do a live stream, you post 4 videos of me with thumbnails like we're best buddies. Like, at least tell the world that you realize I'm full of shit. Don't say you don't know me. Okay, come on. Like, if I did a one-on-one, like, at least acknowledge you interacting with me. So like, you don't gotta say you don't know me. Like, come on, man, don't do me like that. Just say you don't rock with me anymore. It's fine.
Because best line from Corey to Patty was the whole no water change thing is a way to sell crap dirt to lazy people. I openly say I don't agree with or like the man. Dishonest. Mood.
Change your water when water needs to be changed. One-on-one with Father Fish. Okay. I mean, I feel like he kind of downplaying the amount that he was involved with this whole Father Fish wave. It's kind of crazy.
Something's going on. This is not like something. This is just a surface level. I want to know what's going on deep down.
Deep down, like, bro, it's not like some random YouTuber you never interacted with. Like, bro, his whole channel is fucking about Father Fish. Like 11 months ago, the truth about dirted tanks and resurrection jars. Oh man, are they safe for your aquarium?
Welcome to my fish
So he
room.
started turning on him a while ago.
Time and money into our aquarium. I still went and collected a jar. I collected a big one, and I have.
Oh yeah, I'll be taught. This is why I no longer support resurrection jars the way they're being taught, and show my opinions on how. Okay, so everyone's saying that he changed his mind after he streamed with Corey or whatever or something. Oh, this video comes after his why I tore down my dirted tanks video. Okay, let's see. He did a 180 after the. I see. Okay, the Corey set him straight.
I don't have a feeling towards him personally. I'm just.
I don't know the man though. It's kind of insane.
As a-
You've been making content about this guy for a year, and you talked with him one-on-one. You said it was said it was an honor.
Hobbyist, and seeing some of the things, like I don't watch his channel anymore, but some of the things he talked when I was watching those are very back and forth. Like it tells you to do fuse scale, and I wasn't happy. I don't like that. Completely fine. That's your opinion. I don't personally like it. I see what he does more as marketing than it is.
Father Fish business method stopped paying him, so he swapped to the cool-up method to extract profits. I mean, he did have the have the magic nuggets.
He's a shrine of green.
Magic nuggets. Is this aquarium co-op's best food yet?
So you have.
Also, some people were saying it looked like bug bites, and I was like, I don't really see it. But then when I see it in the video, I'm sorry, bug buffet. That's what I meant. But when I saw it in some videos, I was like, oh, I guess I see why people are saying that, because it does kind of have a similar.
Why is he magic? He's like really selling that like carnival con man magician's stuff.
A couple fish that sponge filter video yet. No one's doing the sponge filter video because they're fucking terrible. Like, bro, that's like the one product. Even the Coop fans with the air collar thing, they're all like, yeah, this air collar.
No, double stack sponge filter. It's got that green uplift.
Oh wait. Why I'm filtering this axolotl?
Why is he eyes open? Bro's gonna get like planaria in his
Wait. Oh, these are the black co-op sponges. I see. All right. Well, sponge filter video check. Definitely check.
Was it positive or negative?
I don't personally like it. I see what he does more as marketing than it is longevity of what you're actually doing and teaching. Like, I would have more respect for what he says if, I guess, you were more like truthful in what you said. Like, hey, you can buy my additive. It definitely can probably help your plants in your tank, but it doesn't mean it's going to last forever.
Jose said the live brawl between Funk and Discus North, where Jorge and I planned a live on different practices on the hobby, turned to something else. Yeah, we went over that, man, on the stream once. That was hilarious. Did you catch up on the Discus North stuff, Captain?
It is wild, man.
That's just pure comedy.
Or, hey, let's talk about resurrection jars again. Like, I haven't talked about that. You can collect these
I would
resurrection
put money
jars.
on Funk, though.
You can watch them for 30 days.
You bet money on Funk?
Yeah, he's crazy.
It's hard to say.
Love him all.
Well, the thing is, Discus North did get him at one point when he talked about the ponds being like sea level, so water was flowing through them constantly. Like if he could stick to stuff like that, then you know what I mean. But the problem is, they both just like turned to complete children.
Unhinged uncle.
It was unhinged. Like I just don't think. I don't think anyone would win in a conversation between the two of them. I think it would just be pure
Just
entertainment.
everyone just thinks of hell.
Yeah, I would love for it to happen again. But not because I think anything productive will come out. I think it would be hilarious.
days. But there is no guarantee that you're going to put something in your tank that shouldn't be in there. You can do your best to, but there's always that possibility. I'd have more respect if it was something like that. But what happens a lot, and I found this myself when I came out and said something about not supporting him anymore, people say, well, you're doing it wrong. It's your fault. Well, you must have done something wrong. That's not what he said. So that's what gets frustrating to me, especially with the social aspect of it. I learned a whole heck of a lot when I put that first Beyond the Dirt video out. Like I said, lots of comments supporting, but there were still quite a few comments of people that just, in my opinion, didn't get it. And some of them...
Oh, I forgot to read, but a couple of fish said, all these hands-off tank guys feel fundamentally misunderstand our tank processes, nutrients, import and export of those. And what exactly is being used to win? We should do a stream about this, couple fish.
Within his inner circle that...
It's so easy to realize that system with a nutrient requirement will need supplementation in some way eventually. You can only front load so much in a closed system. And smart person said, no ocean to drain into for ultimate export either. Is Patty running for political office? Smart person says. I don't think so.
Decided to try to bash me, call me names, lie about me. Heck, I had one person comment on a video of mine, and
I think he has a better off the cuff, calmer disposition than Bentley. If we're comparing the two videos we reacted to recently, like he comes across more.
Siblings.
You said what?
They could be siblings.
They could be siblings. They could be related, but he does at least when he comes across like a bit more, just like he's making a video that's, you know, hey, I don't like this guy anymore, but he's doing it in a tone that's less like obvious. I'm making a video to stir things up, kind of a thing.
I made a video saying, you know, that in my tank staff, I don't know him. I really don't know him.
That's what you're gonna say?
First video of the
second Captain Skirters video. I don't know this in my tank guy.
You know, I think Isopods are full of shit.
One of my Beyond the Dirt videos on their Discord, the Fatherfish Discord,
I'm the
and
Queen
told
of
people
Scuds now.
to go report it.
Oh God, Queen of Scuds. That's
What
crazy.
it is.
Yo, there should be a comic book like Captain Isopod, Queen of Scuds. It's like the Zerg versus Terran kind of a situation. You know what I mean? It would be an epic battle. I like this. StarCraft, but
Cam Jam is like, no wonder we got trust issues.
what is Captain's first name, if okay? Jose asks.
Anna.
Anna, there you go. I guess it's
I'm
okay.
a nobody in YouTube. If I'm really tripping your trigger that much, that must mean I'm telling some type of truth. I'm a nobody in YouTube. If I'm really tripping your trigger that much, that must mean I'm telling some type of truth.
I agree with him.
Tripping your trigger.
I agree. As a fellow person who's a no one on YouTube, people almost always only get mad when you say something that's actually true.
Opinion. So
you know what I mean? Like, bro, why do you even care? Like the aquarium co-op stuff is like, I can't believe these people actually care. You know what I mean? Hit dogs holler.
Like I said, but there is a huge majority of people that love to keep dirty tanks and are not like that, and that's the kind of people that I appreciate and enjoy listening to. Like, I have no problem listening to people talk about what they love about dirty tanks, and I'll probably agree with a lot of it. I just don't agree with a lot of what Father Fish says. I don't agree with the no water change things, although it's not no water change now, it's only when needed. It goes back and forth. So like I said, I cut him out of the equation. Like what I don't like the most is why, when you talk about a dirty tank, why does it have to be centered around Father Fish? He didn't create.
Yo, this guy is unbelievable. Why does it gotta be centered around Father Fish? Like, yo, you are one of the people that was doing that perpetuated that. Like, this is crazy. Why is it gotta be centered around Father Fish? I had the great honor to sit with Father Fish to understand its methods and help spread the word of natural aquariums. I just kind of feels like you were on board with the centering of Father Fish when he was, you know, wanting to come talk to you. I'm looking for the videos on, like, I don't know. You got a video with Dustin? You said that's what started.
No.
I'm going to the beginning of the channel history. I'm word searching Dustin. Not a single fucking video. This is the person you credited to starting the dirted tanks for you.
angry about green water. Green water's great.
But I see Father Fish. So I mean, let's see, Wallstead.
I
He
see
probably.
Corey's puffer.
You said what?
I see a Corey's puffer. I don't know its name, but definitely that one.
I don't see Wallstead popping up. So the only person that he's ever put on the channel talking about the dirt thing is Father Fish. So he
But take out
himself
the message. Maybe it's just Wallstead.
just take out Wallstead. Nope. I mean, look, he's made a lot of videos about dirt tanks. I'm sure he's mentioned both of them in his videos plenty. I'm sure, but I'm just saying, like, he don't got no back-to-back photos with either of them, like looking like they're the next Marvel dynamic duo. Like, Father Fish gotta be, I don't know, Captain America after he lived through all those years, and then Patty, he can be Iron Man. Yep.
I mean, on Captain America that never got posted.
Yes, there you go. Okay, well,
Your question. So is API and Top Fin, are they the same brand, just reskinned?
I don't know. Jeff
Because
said
like they have
what?
the same packaging.
I'm just yapping, Joe.
It's a very similar product.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're made in the same thing.
Live stream idea.
Yeah, I can't believe. I can't believe, like,
different.
why is it gotta be centered around Father Fish? It's like, bro, you should have. I want to know why you centered it around Father Fish. First of all, like, where's the accountability? Why I want to see. I want to see the, hey, look, I was one of the people that centered it around Father Fish. I don't want to hear this. Why is it centered around Father Fish?
Oh, it's only when needed. It goes back and forth. So like I said, I cut him out of the equation. Like what I don't like the most is why, when you talk about a dirty tank, why does it have to be centered around Father Fish? He didn't create them. I have more.
It was an honor to talk to Father Fish.
Respect of following more of Wallstead than him. That's just my opinion.
Never put Wallstead in the title of a video. Father Fish in the title of 8 videos. Holy.
But anyway,
Holy.
Tanks, what I learned is that
God
I
damn
think
it,
it's
man.
definitely an interesting experiment to try. If you're someone like me that has numerous tanks, I mean numerous tanks, and you're always looking for something new, I mean, take a 10-gallon tank or something and set it up with dirt and try it. I mean, I don't think there's any reason why someone who's like me that has multiple tanks, that if you want to try something different, to try it with one tank once and just experiment with it. Because on the flip side of things, where there's a lot of people that want to talk negatively about me for not supporting Father Fish, there's also people on the other side that want to bash Father Fish and want to bash people that keep dirty tanks and have never kept one before. They just want to call them, like I've heard swamp tanks and stuff like that. But
oh, swamp tank mentioned. Let's go. Swamp tanks rise up.
And I've never kept one before. They just want to call them, like I've heard swamp tanks and stuff like that. But we're not all like that. I don't like that everyone gets clumped into this one classification.
I'll give him a fair point on this one, because I definitely class all these fuckers together, and it's not right. I agree with them. I definitely agree that there's a lot of, okay, they like dirty tanks, they must do all these other things, I'll give them that.
Fishkeeping says, and I get quote from Corey, why would you not use air when it is the cheapest thing in the hobby? He proceeds to explain the benefits of air. So after he adds air and corrects his thinking.
Yeah. That's my question to all these methods is always like, but why? He's like, they said I couldn't keep an Oscar in a dirted tank with plants, but I did. I'm like, well, why would you want to keep it in a tank where you have to put a bunch of egg crate over shit and do all this extra effort? Like, I don't know, just, I mean, but then
he's trying to like create the
he said he was doing it for
biome.
experimentation and like just to push boundaries. I get it, I get it.
In my experience, you kind of have to pick one organism to like be the focus of your tank, and like, okay, I want to breed rice fish, so that means I can't do XYZ, or I need to choose certain things. I shouldn't have planted plants because I need to have floating mops and shit or something. Like, that's not a good example. Or I'm gonna keep goldfish, huge goldfish. So I can't have small gravel. I need to have large gravel. I can't have sand because it's gonna cause impaction. I can't have dirt because they're gonna dig in it. And And it's like if you still want to have certain elements, you gotta like change the way that you're thinking of running them. So if you want plants that require dirt, you got to put them in a pot and you got to cover that pot with stones so the fish can't pull them out. But even then, the fish are going to eat it. So it's like pick one and make that one thing thrive and have a great life. But it's very hard in this hobby to have things that are going great in every single aspect. You know, someone's going to suffer, whether it's the plants, the fish, the inverts, whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
Open changing schedule, like somebody's gonna lose, you know.
Jeff said his interview with Corey influenced his opinion heavily on tank style. Yeah, it's funny. Everyone keeps saying that, but I don't see any Corey. He doesn't at one point say, you know, my talk with Corey really opened my eyes. He doesn't say I was on the father fish train, bunny hopping. You know, I had him on. It was an honor to meet him. I was part of the people centering around this, but I talked with Corey and I realized by ways he just kind of skipped all that. He's like, you know what? Now he did do the other video. Maybe I think he might have talked about it in that other video more. But like this whole like,
I think you need to find
what you say?
Corey interview video. I think you need to find the Corey interview
Okay,
video.
we'll look at the Corey interview video. I'll find that. Jeff said there are many ways to keep a tank if the fish are healthy and the keeper enjoys it. That is the best way for that keeper. I feel like I can agree with that, I guess.
Yeah.
I always did water changes. I think water changes are a necessity in our closed systems of tanks that we have. I just
don't
didn't
do
have
water
to do them
changes.
as frequently.
He mentioned it briefly in a stream or video before I was on with him. Okay. Yeah, this whole like I don't know who I can't despise Father Fish. I don't know him. I don't know, man.
I did them maybe every 2 months or so. But I've always believed in water changes. So there are different aspects and different, I guess, levels of people within this dirty tank community. And sometimes
I'll give him that.
we all get clumped together because of, in my opinion, one bad seed. Again, this is my
I'm sorry. I can't get over him calling him one bad seed after going through his video history. Like, bro, this is crazy.
opinion. No one else has to agree with me, but that's just my opinion. But in the end, I guess, what did I learn? I learned that dirty tanks are a cool thing to experiment with. I've learned that they are not self-sufficient. Unless you're someone like LRB that keeps a tank out and is outside and he throws his stuff in there and he just doesn't touch it again, that'd be the only way I'd be able to say that you have like a self-sufficient, self-sustaining aquarium. I had someone once in a comment tell me that theirs is self-sustaining. They don't do anything. They keep their windows open so bugs can fly in and the fish can eat it off the surface. They take their rain gutters and they bring it in the house and put it into their tank so when it rains, it tops the water off. Okay. So that's what I said.
How can you laugh at that? You had Father Fish on. You were rocking with them, and you're laughing at that. That's what this old fucker says. That's what he be saying, bro. He be saying shit like that.
Yeah.
What do you say?
He does say to leave your windows.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how can he laugh at that? He was, like, you know what I mean?
Comments are just like crazy out there. How much of it's true and how much is not? It's just, they're not self-sufficient. They're just not. As much as we want them to be, they're not. We still have lights on them. We still have filters. We still feed our fish.
I agree.
Things along that nature. Now, the whole food web, resurrection jar thing, like I touched on before, I am so adamantly against this. I tried those in all my tanks, or just about all of them. I got nothing but just hammer.
He was out in the snow, man. He was out in the snow with it. He didn't just try it. It wasn't like some casual. He was like,
he was getting all his sugar from that Kool-Aid.
He was like, for in case anyone wanted to know, can you collect resurrection jars out in the winter time? Yeah. Holy. That was 2 years ago. So from 2 years ago. Oh man, he's got how to collect a resurrection jar step-by-step guide. Okay, wait. Let's break this down. So between can you collect it in the winter? This is February 2024. And then we got March 2024. At the end of March, he does how to collect a resurrection jar step-by-step guide. You would think if you're doing a step-by-step guide of how to make a resurrection jar, you might have done enough to discover the fact that you're putting a bunch of bullshit into your tanks. Like, I'm sorry, this is crazy. The lack of accountability here is insane, bro. I mean, you didn't just like go out and try it and you're like, it doesn't work.
I vaguely remember Father Fish going off and being like, okay, now that you have this jar, do you pour it into your tank? No! You get a pipette and you...
Bro, he was farming views off of this. Look, he's got 10K adding a resurrection jar, 15K how to collect a resurrection jar,
No.
starting a food web in my room. This is a long period of time. Like, you would have noticed the terrible contaminants coming with this stuff over this time
that
period.
would turn something against my favorite person. Getting huge planaria in every single tank.
Planaria. What are they and how did I get them? Wait, I want to know. How did I get them? This is a while after he did the resurrection jars. Like, I just want to know. I want to see if he says. Okay, how do
Well, those are typical ways of how you would get them in your aquarium if you did see one. It's usually by hitchhiking. For me, I can say probably a 99.9% chance it came from my resurrection jars and my food web material that I added to my aquariums or my local waterways. So that being said, I wound up taking out all my food web material from all my aquariums. Now, why did I do that?
No, yeah,
I did that mostly because I want to take those food sources out of
get the resurrection
so
jar
I can
and
see
pull
really
individuals and then breed them out and then put them in your tank. God.
Do I have planaria worm in all my aquariums or just the 4
Yes.
that I found so
You
far?
do.
I want to take that away so I can see if they're streaking across the glass and not just sitting in the substrate. Now,
that's a lot of resurrection jar material, by the way.
Taking out all
Look at
my
this.
food web material from all my aquariums.
Oh my
now, why
God!
Did
I hope all those.
I did that
leaves are-
mostly because recommend
doesn't
food
change
web
his,
and
like,
food
pipettes
web.
for every single tank. They're everywhere.
Wait, stop. This is a year after. This is okay, like 8 months, March to October, whatever, however many months it is.
You're done.
This is after the intro, and he's saying I got planaria from it, and then listen to this.
Do I still recommend food web and the food web process? And yes, I absolutely do.
Oh my God, bro! I can't with this guy. I can't.
It was still good at that time.
This
It was
credibility
still good.
is toasted. It was not until the Father Fish views were not hitting the same. I'm convinced because this is too long of a period, and now we have him literally seeing the negatives of it and his response.
Recommend food web and the food web process, and yes, I absolutely do. I'm going to do it a little different this time. I'm not going to take it from local waterways anymore. I'm going to try something a little different after I've got
an invert breeder.
this all situated and sorted out. I want to culture.
But if he was a shrimp guy,
right?
That
Nah, he's gonna culture
some organisms like copeds and daphnia and stuff like that, and use dry
Nice
leaf
jar, I like
material
that jar.
soaked in water and try to culture these organisms without taking these things straight from the wild, with the risk of having to introduce these things in my aquarium
that's
again.
what you should have done to begin with.
It's still like
Read a book.
I
Watch a fish story video.
I don't know. It's a good adjustment, but man, I could never recommend people to do this. Not even with this method, like there's so many ways to mess it up that like as a broad recommendation to all people, no. Like I would not. Now if you're into this kind of thing and you're going to do it the right way, let me catch up with the chat cuz I've been not keeping up with the chat.
Mostly talking about Corey.
I know Jeff been in there. I warned Patty about the potential unwanted contaminants of resurrection jars before he did it, but he needed to experience it himself. JP said he should why do people make videos about this? Do what you want. Don't get... I mean, people like to talk about things. You know, it's fine. Holy side, I heard someone out there saying, why are you making fun of an old man? I'm an old man, 64. If I'm talking crap and misinfo, I should not. And the cult be upset if he's called out. Don't get me going on resurrection jars. Jeff said, for a school project, we used to bust the ice, fill a 5-gallon bucket with a little debris, and start life from water. It's a great school product. Everyone should experience it. I mean, I agree. That is a good product. That's a good thing to see. I agree with that.
Watching both pods grow up.
Yeah. To Barry's credit, if you get what the videos following the interview, he does go into how wrong he was about Father Fish. I mean, I get that, but like, I'm still, even though I know he did that somewhere, it's just like in this video, I still don't want to hear him say shit in a way that makes me feel like it's not acknowledging. Bro, he literally is making tutorials. He's like one of the main event. He's like a disciple. He's how many? Okay, let me look. I'm gonna see how many resurrection jar videos there are, because like that seems to be one of the main things that he liked about it. Looks like we got 6. The truth about dirt tanks, resurrection jars. Okay, that's when he stopped liking them. How I set up a resurrection aquarium, how to collect a resurrection jar, adding a resurrection jar, and then the collecting one in the winter. All right. Jose said,
It has made fish keeping too confusing.
to your comment, definitely we should all do what works for us. We should not push our methods to others, especially if you have a gain from the misinformation. We can do videos and share. I agree. I mean, I think that's the thing. Like, I say my opinion on stuff, and what we all say our opinions on what we think is the best methods, but like, I do think it's different when like your method is something you make money off. Like, if I got in here every day, I was just like, listen, let me give you another reason why you need aquatic isopods in your aquarium. It's like, well, this guy sells aquatic isopods sometimes. It's kind of weird he always brings this up. You know what I mean? Like, there's ways that you can go about sharing your opinion where it's not like an advertisement, you know?
Jose says disciple of the cult. Accurate.
Disciple of the cult.
He's been defrocked.
By planaria worms in every single one of my aquariums I put them in. I did watch my jars for well over 30 days, but yet I still got pointed fingers to saying I did it wrong. You must have did it wrong. You didn't do it right then. I did. And
I mean, planaria, they could just come in on the smallest ship, man. I mean, even if that's the thing, like how big is the
thing?
Yeah, how big are the eggs? Like, I'm pretty sure even if you do this culturing thing, like I think there's a non-zero chance if you just when you transfer the copepods, like that a planaria egg gets in. Like, I don't know.
Well, if you're using a pipette, it's less. But if you're dumping the whole thing of water in there and the soil, and
it's not even if you're using a pipette, it's like non-zero, because if you get any kind of like mold that kicks up that could have an egg in it, or something like that, like I'm pretty sure the eggs are really small.
I think bring up the temp of the tanks that you're gonna have it in. I think that'll also help, because then anything that's gonna hatch out will hatch out.
Oh, the temp of the jar you like inoculated in.
It's like if you get that jar from outside, right? Everything's dormant, everything's sleeping. There's a bunch of egg cysts in there that are waiting for an opportune moment. Like if you put those Moina or Daphnia eggs in cold water and you keep them in cold water, they're not gonna hatch. But you bring that stuff up to like 75, boom.
I see what you're saying. If your fish are alive, you're doing okay. I don't know if I could agree with that. I mean, that's a good goal. Your fish are alive. It's a good baseline. Jeff said, I do rather...
I think so.
What do you say?
Like, fish are alive. I'd rather they be thriving.
I don't know about thriving.
Fish can be alive and have flukes.
I have some fish that are alive, and I'd like to see them be alive for longer than they might be.
Living their best life.
Jeff said, I do rather enjoy pushing swab take propaganda time to time. I love the swab take stuff. To me, it's just so funny. I'm team swamp tank. Let's go.
I
still got hit with them, and so I will never do that again. I just don't think it's a good idea. I think if you want to add some type of microorganisms within your aquarium, your best bet possibly is to look up someone like Phillips Fish Works and stuff like that.
Wow, he doesn't even recommend. He doesn't even recommend. Wait, why are you laughing?
I don't think he realizes that Phillips Fish Works sells bags of leaves that have planaria in them. On a disclaimer, it's like these bags may contain planaria, leeches.
Oh, it says that in it. Yeah, that's like the thing is it's like biodiversity. I think it's a positive to them.
If you're trying to avoid all that crap, It's not helping. You're still gonna have to quarantine and
Yeah.
selectively cull.
The #1 scud slinger. That's who you think ain't gonna send you planaria. It loves. I mean, look, there's something to be said for the whole, biodiversity, have all this stuff in their thing. I'm not quite there in my journey yet, but I get what you're saying. You're like, well, not the best recommendation if you're trying to avoid planaria, like you just said.
But like if you want biodiversity, you gotta put the work in. You can't. It's really if you're trusting other people to do the legwork for you, you're not. It's not gonna end well.
Jose said, many of us can talk a lot of crap. Parentheses, not talking about Nick. I talk a lot of crap. You can say it. Can follow or blindly follow one person and die for that person cult behavior. Well, that's why, look, I disagree with a lot of you in the chat on things. I disagree with Captain on plenty of things all the time, and it's fine. That's the kind of culture
Like wolves
Listen, no cults
all
here.
the time.
No cults here, okay? Jeff said there are many without the ability to use critical thinking, unfortunately. Yes.
Agree.
I agree. Scud's rule, Isopod's rule.
It's also
That's the one thing we can't disagree on.
aren't for everyone, like it requires a lot of patience. It requires a lot of thinking. It requires the ability to understand science for the most part. It's not for everybody, but
Right.
it can be freaking gorgeous.
Maybe sources them and not take them from the wild. Because on top of that, if you're taking a jar of a handful of something in water from them and not take them, best bet possibly is to look up someone like Phillips Fish Works and stuff like that maybe sources them and not take them from the wild.
Not take them from the wild, bro. He sources stuff from the wild. What are we talking about,
He
man?
literally takes them from the wild. Like if you look at the isopods that he sells,
I mean, he breeds
they
a lot
are
of them
different.
now. He breeds a lot of them now, but he did collect them from a
Yeah,
few
but
different
they
places.
were wild collected.
And that's fine. That's
A
fine.
bag of leaves, backyard leaves.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's like buying leaves in bulk. I'm sure he's got like a property or something with leaves, which again is fine. Nothing wrong with that.
No, I meant like the critters that hunt them. Like that's from a creek.
Yeah. Like I think he's collecting some stuff. Shout out to Phillips.
One of the reviews says they got a dragonfly larva from this guy.
Shout out Phillips Fish Works, man. The king of natural aquariums, in my opinion.
You're taking a jar of a
He is
handful of
bold
something
and
in water
has
from a water source. How are
a
you to know
beard.
that water isn't polluted or has some kind of toxin in it? You don't know this.
Man, this guy,
Your
he's
hatred for
coming up
Scud
with
is
some good
enjoyable, not
questions.
bitter from time to time as well.
Sorry, what
Cheers,
was that?
Jeff. Oh, Jeff is just teasing you.
Oh, yo, Jeff, you're trying to get banned. He's trying to trigger my Scud hatred. You think that's enjoyable? Come on, man. I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
That's
Stop it.
amazing.
Stop it. And that's what I mean. You can watch a jar for a year if you want to. You don't know what the water is unless you have
How do you go? One conversation with Corey and you finally develop the ability to ask some questions? Like, that's what's confusing me about this video.
a microscope and you have
He hasn't even mentioned Corey any of this. If that's really when it started, I want to know what made the change.
some type of biology background to be able to check that out. So again, that's another thing I learned. If you want my opinion, stay away from them. Your choice, but if you do, be very wary. And then I guess, like I mentioned, the water change thing. I think water changes are a necessity, but in the end, I feel like dirty tanks are a cool little experiment. That's what it was. It was an experiment, and they're really not beyond that. Someone told
It
me
was
once that
just
this
a
is just
phase him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with I respect his whole thing, like it was an experiment and stuff, but like, I'm sorry, he was making some serious, like he was riding this wave hard.
Woohoo, swamp tanks.
Not all natural aquariums had to be dirted. Oh,
But
I
that
think
Okay.
that's like
let me finish
the
this.
trend, this dirty tank thing, and I kind of feel he was right. And
Wait.
someone told me once that experiment a trend. This was what it was an experiment, and they're really not beyond that. Someone told me once that this is just a trend. This dirty tank thing, and I kind of feel he was right. And I definitely moved on from it. I'm not doing dirty tanks anymore. Would I ever do a dirty tank anymore? I can never say never.
When the view's gonna hit right.
But if I would, I guarantee you it would probably be Wolstead method.
Oh, brother, get this. Boo.
drop the name.
Boo.
Someone that actually has some scientific things proven behind their method.
It's her own science, okay? It's her own science experiments. I feel like the scientificness of Wallstead is way overhyped. This is like her own personal science experiment.
But other than that, yeah, this is the goodbye journey for Dirty Tanks for me. Probably will see no more videos when it comes to Dirty Tanks, and this will be definitely probably the last time I ever mention the old man in it.
I don't get what he's saying. It was a trend, like it's a it's a step in the evolution of fish tanks. Because it's like aqua soil is a new invention that's recent. We didn't have aqua soil. Like, yeah, sure, we had gravel, we had rocks, we had sand. But to get that nutrients into our substrates, dirt was a step in the evolution of that journey.
So why don't these people ever like get into aqua soil instead of doing this dirty tank stuff? Why don't you just, like you said, that's a good way to put it. Like, dirty tanks, the evolution on the way to aqua soil. Like, I'm becoming
like, now we have volcanic, pellets that are pre-impregnated with nutrients and all the good things and long-term, etc. And we have root tabs as well. Like,
unless something comes backlash to me, then maybe I will, but I don't plan on it.
We don't have to bury dead fish in our soil to make it good again.
Right.
Probably will see no more videos.
I love this. He says he's gonna not do more dirty tanks or talk about father fish unless someone does backlash to him, and then maybe he'll make a video.
Tanks, this will be definitely probably the last time I ever mentioned the old man in it. Unless something comes backlash to me, then maybe I will, but I don't plan on it. I plan on doing what I'm doing, just enjoying my hobby and showing what I'm doing, plants and gravel and different types of fish, and enjoying that and showing that you can do everything in this hobby. There's a place for everything. There truly is. You just got to find what best fits you and not listen to what the internet tells you half the time, and just figure it out for yourself. And that's probably the best lesson I got out of this, is that
it's a good
learning from
good
myself
lesson.
Is probably the best advice anything I could give myself or give anyone else, is to just figure it out for yourself.
I think it's a good message, and I'm definitely someone that has to learn by doing it myself a lot of the time. But you don't have to do everything. Like, if someone tells you, oh, if you put your hand in there, you're gonna get burnt, I don't necessarily feel the need to burn my hand to believe them. Not all the time. You know what I mean?
Because anyone out there is, well, you just never know. So anyway, I'm rambling on long enough here, but that's what this kind of video is me just shooting from the hip, and this is what it is. All right. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already.
And I hope to see you again. That my tanks are very natural. No dirt, a closed system, water change, a good thing, whatever works for you. Gravel, healthy plants, natural filtered with FXC, 6C, lots of air, live healthy fish. Yeah, no, different examples of what's natural, like you can have a riverbed system.
Natural FX6. I don't know,
natural
man.
FS. Those, you just go outside, you pick them from trees. The better ones are up top, but
Hey, yo, Sonny said hashtag Nick, heart emoji, eggplant emoji, scuds. Yo. You're getting timed out.
Whatever works for you, man.
No. No, 1 second. I didn't even have the stream up to where I could do something like this. Wait, where's that message? Hey, Nick? Yeah, no, shut up. Shut up, Sonny. No, you're timed out. No one's putting my name on a heart and an eggplant emoji next to Scuds. No, that's not going to happen on my stream. I said we could all disagree, but there's a line. SE said swamp tanks. Let's go. Swamp tanks, rise up. Jeff said I'm feeling an itch to do a dirty Jeff method dirty tank build series. That sounds fun. Swamp tank live series. I mean, listen, I would love. Listen, I'm all about the entertainment. Okay, as long as it's entertaining, I don't care how messed up it is. Do a dirty tank. Okay, wait. Let me take that back. I just mean, yeah, do some dirty tanks, swamp tank series. That sounds like a good idea to me. That sounds hilarious. I'm sure the tanks will be fine and the fish will be healthy. So it seems like, why not? The swamp tank thing seems to be a catchy enough phrase. It's sticking. I'm ready to ride swamp tanks until the wheels fall off. Pause. Okay. SE said, but I want to spend $99 on special wet mud dirt instead of $60. Aqua soil isn't that expensive, right? Like, people, I feel like it's not.
The price has gone down a lot.
Yeah, I feel like
it's not.
It's not that expensive, honestly. Like, it's comparable to any store-bought gravel or sand. When I go, that shit's always pretty expensive, especially like the one brand, the Naturals Caribsea. The Caribsea sand, that shit's expensive as hell.
Yes.
Camden said, Jose, your tanks are beautiful. Was an error. Natural filtration for FXS was sarcasm. I know, I'm messing with you. Jeff said, Nick, did you do a live about Bentley's recent video? The one where he's talking about selling fish. Yeah, we talked about it in the one. It was like titled "Where Am I Real Hobbyist At?" I went over this video. Yeah, did you watch this video, Captain?
Yeah, I was there. I was in the chat.
I know, but I just, I don't know if you actually watched I didn't watch the entire thing on stream. I mean, I think it's funny that it provided so much conversation for the week. Like, we're just desperate to find something to talk about. Like, this did the job, man. It really did.
Bentley's tanks look better.
Bentley's
than the
tanks,
other dude's tank.
yo, Bentley's tanks look nice. They look nice.
Plant cover.
His tanks do look nice, bro.
They look good.
I'm not, no offense to Patty, but his tanks kind of look like what I'd expect from a father fish disciple for the most part. Like, Bentley got some nice look. Look at that crypt back there. Holy, and the lights are dim. If you told me these were father fish tanks, then I might have to take some things back. I'd be like, oh shit, holy. Yeah. Oh man, the substrate isn't 2 feet tall. Like, what a concept, man. What a concept.
Yeah, dirty tanks are not for everyone. Also, you got to do it right. Because if you fuck up in the beginning, it's just good.
Yeah.
But there are good things can come from those situations.
Yeah.
My first gigantic green water tank was a failed dirty tank experiment.
Yeah. Mexicali, we're not going to let you get away with this kind of conversation much longer. Like, he said, my tanks are all hold my beer tanks. Like, I'm sorry, bro. You got some very nice looking tanks. Like, especially the pond one.
Where's the beer holder?
The one pond tank you said you took inspiration from Johnny's Ponds or whatever. Like, bro.
No.
You put
Never
thought.
do that again.
You put thought and attention into your tanks. It's not just hold my beer. Calm down. What you say, Captain?
Nick, never have your camera on vertical with the background just darkness behind you. You just did a jump scare.
Bro, it was like 4 a.m. and I randomly got on Mexicali stream.
It works. You know,
Leave your camera off.
Me and Mexicali are cool like that, man. You never know when one of us might just pop up on the other stream. But he always wanted to downplay himself, like, my tanks are like whatever. I just take crap from the desert. I'm like, man, you put thought into your tanks. It's more than that. What's up, Beto said Pod Squad. JP said he did talk about it. It was great. Yeah. What were your overall thoughts? I know you're in the chat, but like, shit, for Jeff, we can revisit this video 6 days later. Have we had any new thoughts? Like, what did you think about this? Excuse me. Captain.
Oh, me. Sorry, I thought you were talking to Jeff.
Yeah, no one else is on the call. Come on, man.
I mean, well, I thought you were talking to chat. Mostly it's just engagement baiting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, there are some people who are in it for the wrong reasons, but they are also doing good. They're not the best. They're definitely kind of abusing the animals, but they're keeping the hobby alive,
You think? I don't think they're abusing animals, like
at the worst case scenario kind of thing.
Okay.
Like worst of the worst.
Because my thing was, I bet the dedicated hobbyists are more like that aren't making money off it and have 50 tanks are more likely to neglect some fish because they're not relying on the fish being healthy to make money.
Wrong. You're not wrong. People who buy every week, they're buying 12 tetras every single week.
Yes.
Something's wrong.
We all know someone that always is buying fish that they got no business buying. Okay, there's lots of fish hoarders.
What happened to the other 20 tetras?
Yeah, many of us, and many of us are guilty. I think myself, I think I've been guilty of fish hoarding.
You don't have a piscivore. What's going on there?
Yeah, I do need a piscivore. That would solve a lot of problems for me.
Yeah. Oh.
Beto says, "Hey Cap, got white worms that are pest free?"
I do.
Come
it's a
on.
long ass time, but I do.
Hey, Captain's Critters is gonna have grindle worms and white worms on the website. All right. Hit up Captain or
The
Mod
brindles
in
are ready to
Chief.
go. I just need to get uh, deli cups in.
Listen, being an In My Tanks mod doesn't pay much, so order some shit from Captain, okay? That's the least we could do.
All right, Tanks 15 for 15% off of your order.
There you go.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, the white worms are slowly recovering. I had
wait, whoa, hold up a
a
second. So you're a
forest
hobbyist
fire
that's
issue.
selling stuff? You're just who he's talking about, man. Get out of here. Get out of
Yo, I
here.
got gaslit into selling stuff. I didn't want to sell stuff, and people were like, "Hey, I want your stuff, but I also want to pay you.
Well,
Hey,
that's
how
a,
can I send you?"
yeah, like that's another thing. It's
You know,
like, bro, hobbyist breeding stuff and
like,
selling things is like kind of fantastic. But people would love to buy. They love buying stuff from hobbyists. I'm pinning Captain Critter's website just because I got nothing else to pin. Why not? But yeah, Jeff said I can hit replay, no problem. I mean, look, just checking in. We talked about it on stream. Did anyone got any new thoughts since here? I feel like I agree with Captain. I think this was just basically engagement bait. I feel like I kind of
like
agree. I agreed with him
some
overall.
sellers, yeah.
Sorry, what did you say?
So for sellers who are hobbyists, I really appreciate the people who are like maybe not genus specific, but like kind of taxonomical group specific. Like they specialize in bettas, they specialize in killifish, they specialize in rainbow fish. Those people who really get into the nitty gritty and only sell that one thing.
Yeah,
I really appreciate what they do with the hobby because they're really holding it down to lessen the impact that we get from importers.
yeah.
So like the people in Aquamid, those people are in it for the love of the game. They're not making money. They're just trying to spread the hobby
I mean, I
for the most
think
part.
I'm kind of surprised. The main reason this was like, and again, I
Or
talked
like
about it
people
because so many
on
people were offended by this video, like, which I thought was interesting. I don't know. He didn't really say that much. Like in hindsight, there wasn't really too much substance to this video. Like it wasn't that interesting when I kind of think back to it. And like the only example I can
platypus wants me to drop brindle. I will do it. I will do it.
oh yeah, Jeff said I think it was targeted at a specific person, brought it. Yeah, that's another thing. So like I said, you can tell in the video he needed to get to a certain finish point, and like he kind of said whatever in between the start and to that finish point, so it didn't really make that much sense. But like when you think of it as it was about one person, then that kind of makes sense. But
Like if
look,
we had to look at different platforms, maybe Morph Market is like not cool
you,
compared to Aquabid.
you don't like Morph
I think
Market?
eBay kind of can go. eBay typically has more people who are really dedicated, I'd think, to their specific niche of what they sell.
I mean, Morph
The Morph
Market,
Market
you kind of have to be
listing,
invested to sell on there.
true, because you gotta pay.
Yeah.
But like the stuff that I see come out from there is like very sad. They just
Mm.
look very, very sad. Um, maybe he's like talking about Facebook Marketplace people. I don't know. Like,
I mean, the only person I can think of that fits his description, like as like a grifter, like 10-gallon fish tanks, like someone that clearly is like performative hobbying. You know what I mean? And is all about making money. Like, which again, who am I to say if someone's a hobbyist or not? But like to me, if he said that as an example, I would agree. But I just don't think there's that many people
well,
like that, and most of them are gone
yeah,
after a while. You know what I mean?
you gotta
Uh,
be in it for the love.
I used Morph Market to buy my Warner Eye Dalmatian, so you can get some rare stuff off of
Sounds like
there.
was the
Steve,
seller like specific towards that type of fish, or were they more broad, like full seller?
for the isopods I bought. Sorry, what was the
Oh,
question?
never mind. I thought you were
No,
talking about a fish.
oh no,
Yeah,
I
no,
bought
they're good
isopods on
for
Morph
like
Market. Steve said I
pods.
bought those L280 off of Morph Market. Oh, nice, very nice. Well, Steve, you also do reptiles and stuff, which Morph Market seems to be one of the places
It's
to
geared for.
buy that kind of stuff.
I probably missed when I said Morph Market. there's probably better examples of
Uh,
people like for the money.
yeah. Why make a Aquafinder? Why make a video then when you could just call them and be real? I mean, if you're not friends with them, you can't just call them. Jeff said, there's something about Morph Market. I won't use it. No clue what it is, but it bugs me. I'm the same way. I only use Morph Market because that's the only place my friend was selling her isopods. So I had to.
Oh, what's in Cap's display tank? 3 10-inch goldfish. I keep my late grandma's goldfish, kept them in a pond outside. They were like neglected as heck. Brought them to San Francisco, set them up. They're huge now.
Mm.
My mom made the mistake of naming them after her kids because there were 3 of them and she's got 3 kids.
Yeah, naming 3 goldfish after your kids is kind of crazy.
Name fish after family members or friends.
That's crazy.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not good. My sister's fish died. So we got another. And we've renamed them after condiments. So we have ketchup and mustard and aioli.
That's
But
much
they're
better
huge.
than human people names. I'll give you that.
Yeah. And then of course I got rice fish. But they're just in a breeding setup. If I had more space, I would have more tanks. But right now I'm working out of limited space.
Beto said, I never would have guessed goldfish. Said awesome
Yeah,
names.
they're not my first choice, but they're doing well. They're very healthy. Well, they're as healthy as they can be, having been neglected in an outdoor pond in Oregon, experiencing all 4 seasons. One of them is blind in one eye, and one of them has like keloids and like weird growth. But other than that, they're fine.
See, the first
And
thing
then
me
the
and
new one
Captain
is
disagree on, she has
amazing.
goldfish. You know? See? I disagree.
I mean, they weren't my choice. I'm just carrying the torch for the previous generation of fish keeping. I will give them a good life. They're
Yeah.
like 10 years old, 10 inches long.
Cam Jen said, love y'all going to bed. Do what you want because we can't get arrested for keeping fish how we want. Good night, Cam Jam. Just wait. Just wait. The arrest could be coming in. Goldfish, the new guppy.
Renaming kids after goldfish.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
when we talked about what the new guppy was, I do think Goldfish had a good argument for being guppy-like with all the varieties.
Yeah, but like guppies live maybe 3-5 years maximum. That's the oldest I've heard of a guppy. Goldfish can be 22, no problem. It's a coin toss whether who will live longer, the cat or the goldfish.
Right. Yeah.
They're the same age, I think. My husbandry is immaculate.
Hey,
So could go either way.
goldfish, rice fish. What else, guys? What other videos have you guys of people? Any other videos of people giving opinions? How often am I willing to just look at whatever? Now, don't listen. I don't want to see anything about Dr. Novak. I tried to play a video of his I almost fell asleep on stream myself. Okay, it's gotta be. It can't be like that, man. It can't be like that. This is live. I don't want to fall asleep live. Jacob said, what you say?
He's right. Always doing the Featherfin production video.
Featherfin's production video. Yo, we need him to get spicy. A channel called In My Tanks. Jacob said, I never name my fish. People ask me what their names are when I'm showing them. I'm like, I don't know. I have so many fish, I always forget names. I don't want to name fish because then I'll be more sad when they die.
You can just call them like basic adjectives. Like I had one fish who was just like, I just called her the mother of all rice fish.
Right.
She had so many kids.
Yeah.
But I don't name my rice fish. Just the beta fish, generally, I name them. Because they have such cool personalities. Love those little guys. So
Have you
sad that
noticed?
they don't live very long because of bad breeding.
Yeah. No, that is sad. That is sad. Man.
Alright, there's some people doing some breeding projects to try to get the life expectancy up higher. You know, increase their
That's pretty cool.
non-issues with kidneys, etc. Oh, water changing catastrophe. That looks fun.
Where's that? Water changing catastrophe.
We flood his
Just
house.
got done doing 75% water change, and one of my filament barbs
Nice
died pretty
looking
much
tank.
immediately after I was done filling it up,
Interesting stockless.
refilling the tank.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
look at that
And
male.
then there's a second one
The red.
Hey, yo.
still in the tank. I removed the first one, but this guy looks like he's also on his way out.
Front row.
The thing it could be, which is actually pretty possible, is that I do water changes now pretty much once
Oh
a month.
no.
Oh, this is sad. I don't know. This is sad.
Maybe he needs to add more dechlorinator.
Yeah, that is sad. A couple fish that I've only named a handful of fish.
Oh, that should be a fun stream. You should have a fish name stream or something. Fish judgment stream. I don't know.
Fish
Have people
judgment.
send in photos of their fish and then like names and
Yeah,
then you can
I've been
rank
wanting
them
to do
zero.
that. I've been wanting to do a virtual fish show competition. We should do that soon. We'll do the
Just be
quiz
like,
and
"This
we'll
is
do
Larry."
that. Yeah, we'll do fish judging.
Named Larry after my worst roommate. He sucked. This fish sucks. 10 out of 10.
There we
Would
go.
Larry again?
I need some sponsors for these things. Like, I need someone to sponsor
is so
some
great.
sponsor some trivia, sponsor some fish show stuff, so we got like a prize. Because I think it would be so funny. Like, can you imagine just like
We had a goldfish named
what you said?
We had a goldfish named Bass. All this time, I thought it died of natural causes. No, apparently, my younger sister, like, she dumped the entire container of fish food in there, and he ate himself to death.
This
Wow.
I only learned that recently. Ooh. Found
Oh.
by eggs.
We got some macro footage, you know, I love that. I hatched a tiny dinosaur.
Oh, I love Gabe. Great.
This was a JP Jeffries recommendation. I'll put the link to the chat. Gabe's fish tanks. Big water change, everything dies. One of the reasons I filter everything and check every time that the filter is working. Yeah, I need to do sediment filter, carbon filter. I think there's something weird in my tap water every now and then that's causing some of these weird bacterial infections.
This is why you need to only use aged water to change your water on your fish tanks.
Yeah, I don't got a giant ass bucket to store I don't like it. If I had a way to store a gazillion gallons of water to age it, then
Drink milk in gallons.
you drink
Do you
milk in
use
gallons. Bro, I am not
don't know.
stocking up on gallon, bro.
You drink the juice?
Oh,
The juice in the plastic bottles?
I built a
A bunch
highway
of those.
between 4 aquariums. It was hard. Yeah,
You fill them with water. You add a couple drops of prime. You put that shit outside, and you use as needed in order of oldest and newest.
are you seeing this?
spreading it around, and more nervous. Part of me was expecting to see a leak in one of the connections. So as the tanks were filling, our escapes are fully complete, and we'll now let the tanks
I mean, that's one used for Skittles. You know, Skittle.
Yo, can you imagine Bomba rating the scapes of these?
sit and cycle
I
for
think
a
the
while.
shrimp are all gonna
Once the
jump
tank is all
out.
ready to
That's just
go,
me.
it's time
But,
for the
like,
fun part.
you
They're
need a lid
more
on
than ready
that.
to check out their new
Shrimp
home.
will escape.
If I had to guess, I'm
Shrimp do
Shrimp
escape
gives zero
sometimes.
thought.
realize
They
that
do.
they had the ability to, if it's one of these three, or even a different one, them up at the opening of each tunnel to help create a ladder
Man.
and to guide the shrimp into the tubes, just so they can explore easier if they wanted to.
You put a ladder for shrimp into the tube. They could swim, bro. Come on.
But also, like, the shrimp are probably gonna die, low key, just
Said,
because it's
I
not
decided
cycled.
To add a quick
Shrimp are
adjustment to make
very
the tubes more
sensitive to that
accessible.
shit.
Using some sticks
th-
from one of my
He might be putting plants and stuff from used tanks. I didn't watch the whole video, so yeah. Well, when you're skipping to a video, you have to give people extra benefit of the doubt, because otherwise it'll be like, hey, you missed the part where you used cycled blah 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 blah.
other aquariums. I propped them
I'm
up
just
at the
gonna
opening
assume
of
he
each tunnel
did.
to help create a
I'm
ladder.
just laughing at the sticks to help the shrimp go into the tunnels. It's kind of funny
to
to
guide the shrimp
me.
into the tubes,
Not
just so they
all
can explore
birds.
easier if they wanted to. Since these sticks have a lot of biofilm for the shrimp to eat on them, I think it will attract them and in turn get them more comfortable
The
with the
shrimp is
tunnels.
literally gonna knock that over and then just
Heard of.
it'll be done.
I guess the plan worked because just about every
Oh, this looks like an ammonia pocket waiting to happen. The food in the tube. Oh man.
shrimp came to check out the food, and they now know that going into the tunnels is a safe thing for them to do. Hopefully going forward, this
I
encourages
think
them
you
to
should have
explore
like
as
a
freely as they want.
tiny.
I also added a
You
filter
could do an
just to get
uplift
some
channel with.
more flow
he's
in the
got some
tank and to help
ventilation.
Oh, wait, he did add a hang on back filter.
of one, and thankfully helping clean them up as well. And the shrimp were really into the driftwood tank. I think the main reason is all the biofilm that grows on the driftwood for them to pick at. The floating plants
That's a
are
pretty blue shrimp.
90,000 views in 2 days though. I can't argue with that. I kill some shrimp for that, no problem. I want to see the 3-week update or whatever. Jeff
There'll
says
be completely new batch of shrimp in it.
yeah. Jeff said I do a lot of 90% water changes cold, 72 degrees Fahrenheit without major problems. I think Jeff is just perfect though. I can't compare myself to that.
Jeff is perfect.
Mick could be fun with fish competitions.
I stopped having a lot of issues about like death and stuff after I switched to just aging my dechlorinated water.
There you go.
But I know it's not in the works for everybody.
Also, when you do get a bunch of space, having a bunch of RO on hand is nice for power outages and stuff. Yeah, like I said, I want to get a carbon block and sediment filter, and I do want to get my RO set up and have some. Smart person said, as I commented on that video, you can never just move those tanks now without cutting it apart. Oh, that's a good point. Smart person said, Gabe makes
No,
a
I
bunch
think
of.
he just grabs the tubes and just like heaves, just lifts all those 4 cubes up.
Gabe makes a bunch of
Probably
silly.
like what, 50 pounds of water?
Right. Smart person said Gabe makes a bunch of silly designs that are impossible to maintain, so I think he breaks them down right away. Oh man, see, this is the kind of like, where people like, if you want to do a lot of views, you don't need to buy bots. Don't like, forget all that. All you gotta do is put blank into blank for blank amount of time. That guaranteed formula. I put garlic in my aquarium for 30 days, parentheses, no filter. 1 million views in 2 months. Like, come on. Just start tossing shit into random containers. Just, dude, put a scrambler combination. Like, get a word generator. Like, I put blank into blank for blank amount of time. Like, please. This is
9
the
months
blueprint.
later, baby child. Yeah.
This is all he does. Day 1. Skeleton. Day 30. Wait, what
If you
does...
want to get views, do a beta fish.
I'm
I
gonna do
rescued a
this.
beta fish video. We'll have like
Mm.
900 million views.
I build an ecosystem for rare shrimp and tiny fish.
You need to get,
Yeah.
is it Bamba? Bamba? How do you pronounce his name?
Bamba.
Bamba? Okay, with the note.
Yeah, we need Bamba should
Like, get
start
him on
doing
here.
this.
Make him does that. Not that scape.
Yeah. We need a PhD aquascaper.
We'll tell you.
All right. Gabe's tanks. Definitely, he's doing this.
One video you can do later on, if you want to do more research papers, do like I don't know if the word's etymology, but like the evolution of snails in the aquatic hobby. Be like, because I think someone said ram's horns were terrestrial and then they went to aquatic.
Okay.
That's why they don't have the operculum.
We could do that sometime. Oh yeah, I remember.
There's a bunch of people who are snails.
A couple of fish were talking about that. A few. I'm with smart person. This Gabe guy seemed like he's just doing some stunt videos. I don't know. Day 1, day 100, whatever, man. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my kind of thing. Jeff said I would prefer.
Is the picture of the beta fish like the same, but just like colored?
I think
in the thumbnail, that looks like the same fish.
Yeah, he rehabbed it. Like day 1 was gonna die, but then his ecosystem made it.
Oh no! Scroll out! Scroll out!
Scroll up.
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
see those two
God!
beta fishes
You're
of
right.
day
Wait. The day 1 is the same. The day 60
That's
is
the same
different.
Fish. Let's color balance it.
Is the right side the same fish?
I'm sure the fish is different, but like, I don't think the right side's the same fish. I think the left side is definitely
The left
same
side
fish,
is the
though.
same fish.
It could
Oh,
be-
that is crazy, dog.
it could be the same.
That's crazy. He used the same dying fish and changed the color to white. Now this is diabolical. Yeah. See, fuck this guy. See, you can't trust anything any of these people do. I would bet a lot of money that most of the people that make these videos, like, there's no fucking way they waited 100 days. Like, that is totally made up. There is absolutely, most of these is probably the same day. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's some absolute, I don't believe it at all. Not even a little bit. But now that I've seen this thumbnail shenanigans, I definitely feel vindicated. Jeff said, I prefer to age off in gas, but I don't have the space I'm willing to give up. I appreciate that. Jeff said, I'm in need of a nap. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for holding down in chat, Jeff. Appreciate you hanging around.
Night.
Mick said, biggest...
says his video introduced a new fun New York City fish shop I didn't know about. Oh yeah, New York has some really cool fish shops. The one in Chinatown is very hard to get to. But if you can get there, it's worth it.
Mick
I used
said,
to live in New York, so.
biggest issue for me is who ordered the D37 Apistos from Imperial Tropicals. I don't know.
I'm gonna head out. But good yapping with you, Nick.
All right, take it easy, Captain.
Always fun.
Always a good time, always.
Who drew on that? Okay, no, never mind. That was video. What? Who? What? Somebody drew on that picture. California, New Yorker. Whoa. I went from San Francisco to New York, then back to San Francisco. Sorry, I can't do those 4 seasons. It's not worth it.
I hear you. I hear you, man. You're on the grind. Well,
Yeah, but who knows? Nursing can take me anywhere, so maybe I'll visit you guys one day.
That'll be fun. Come on, man.
I'll bring some whatever's not illegal at the time. Alright, I'll talk to you later.
All right, take it easy, Captain.
Bye.
Bye. Captain's critters, everyone. All right, I'm a head off also, but yeah, it's been a chill stream. I appreciate you guys holding it down in the chat. I mean, look, hardest working fish stream. We up in here. We're doing high quality yapping, okay? High quality yapping. Good night to Captain's critters. I did put her website. I did pin it in case you need any live foods. Captain's got some good cultures: the Daphnia, the Moina, the green water, the red photosynthetic bacteria, white worms, grundle worms coming soon, and all that good stuff. Shout out Jeff, Smart Person, JP, Sunny, Mick M, Joy Fish Keeping, Betta, of course, couple of fish holding it down the chat. Thank you, Jacob, of course, JP, Jeffries, as always, holding it down. Big Steve's Glass Boxes, appreciate you stopping by, hanging out in the chat. Mexicali, always wanted to try things people say you can't do, of course. I appreciate you stopping by in the chat. SC, the Swamp Tank King, appreciate you stopping by, of course. I think Armadillo was in here at the beginning. Cam Jam, thank you, ma'am. Hope you're sleeping well. I already said Smart Person. I know Maven was in here. And listen, I'm scrolling up to Platypus, stop by. I think that's all the names I'm seeing as I'm scrolling. But if you're in here and I missed it, I do appreciate you. I also, of course, the lurkers, the replay squad, please leave your feedback, negative or positive. As always, how you been feeling about the streams? How you been feeling about this stream? Any thoughts you had as you're watching along? JP said, Nick, you need a theme song we can sing along to. It's got to be as good as the Aqua Dragon song, Foxy and Dee Dee Can Help You. I don't know about that. Sutton Road says, oh, hey, now everyone moves over to this live. I don't know what you mean, Sutton. I'm getting off. You're going to have to find another one. Holy. Yeah, so listen, Sutton, shout out to you for stopping by at the end. JP said, thanks for the kick-ass stream. I don't know, JP. You're telling me you're going to go somewhere else. You're saying you're watching the stream on mute. I can kind of understand that. The papers were absolutely atrocious. Maven says, love, peace, chicken grease. Of course. My Fish Takes Aquatic said, hello, everyone. God damn. Well, wherever you guys are coming from, good luck finding another stream. I'm headed out, okay? Check you out the replay. Appreciate you for stopping by. It's been in my tanks. I'm giving you thanks. I won't walk the plank. I don't care what you think. I don't know what to say. My mind has gone blank. I've been a bad fish kid. I need a spank. That was awful. I'm ready to die. But I don't think I could, even if I tried. Because I'm committed just to the stream. This is in my tanks, the hardest working. I'm out.